Welcome to the Knowledge Entrepreneurs Show, where we celebrate the innovators driving change in the education industry. At Edison OS, we've worked with over 500 knowledge entrepreneurs to turn their edtech ideas into profitable businesses. Hi, Prudhvi. Welcome to
Hello.
the Knowledge Entrepreneur Show. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for taking your time out for this. So, I think we had a discussion as to what this podcast is going to be about, but I'll just repeat it once.
Sure.
And so, this is a podcast, where we have knowledge entrepreneurs as our guest. And the
Hmm.
whole purpose and idea of this podcast is for us to be able to, you know, share practical, real information about your experience, the guest's experience as to how their journey in this business was, to give an idea for the people that are outside, who are still probably teaching as a part time, but they might have that thought of, plunging into it full time,
Full time.
but they're not really sure, right? So,
Right.
I'm not trying to say that, this podcast is going to help them motivate to come into it, but this podcast may even give them the clarity to decide this is not for them because it's
Uh,
really not for everybody, right? Entrepreneurship is not for
yes.
everybody. So
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
whole idea. So, Prithvi, before we, get into the topic,
Right.
for the listeners, I'd like to get to know about you. I know you, but
Okay.
if I talk to you and get some information about personally about you, your journey, I think the listeners also will be able to connect with you. So,
Yeah.
Prithvi, if you can
Sure.
start off by telling your story, your as personal as you're comfortable, like where you
Right.
started off, your schooling, the way you grew up,
Hmm.
and how did you
Hmm.
come up to be here. This is, yeah, you can start off.
Okay. First of all, Jack, thank you so much for the opportunity, and it is a pleasure meeting you and talking. And first of all, I'll start with appreciation for the podcast idea to create the knowledge entrepreneurs. That's really interesting. Second, I will. Okay, with regards to my introduction, okay, I brought up. I was brought up and grown in a small town named Kodada. It's near Hyderabad, 200 kilometers away from Hyderabad. And my schooling till 10th standard was there. And I think in the 8th standard, I was particularly interviewed to get into a very good college. From the childhood, I always wanted to be a scientist. I was with electronics, new electrical items, etc.
Right.
So that's I thought IT would be a path. I took 2 years of plus one and plus two at Vijayawada. That's the capital of AP now. And after that, I got a seat in ISM Dhanbad as well as NIT Warangal. I couldn't realize the dream of IIT, and then I joined NIT Warangal in mechanical engineering. But I got a branch shift into electrical engineering. 4 years, I actually studied electrical engineering, a lot of math. I grew very passionate about energy sector. And coming from education background, my dad is a teacher. For his entire life, he dedicated his life to teach English to college students. So there was that motivation also. After the college, yeah, entrepreneurship and education are something which I actively pursued for 4 years, but mostly in a very small way, in my own way.
Right.
Then 2016, I realized, okay, I should get into the industry for some experience. Then I found data science to be the new world or new passion. I did a small cohort based certification and then entered into this field. 17, 18 was there in Bangalore. 18 to 19 I was there in Hyderabad. Two small startups uh, working directly with CEO, building products and services. That was in data science.
Right.
So that was my work. And again, the entrepreneurship bug hit me. I felt like uh, the education thing is calling inside me, and then uh, I resigned my job, started doing it full time right away. Uh, but there has been a time, 6 months, 2018 January to July, while I was working, I on the weekends I started teaching people data science course as well. That 6 months offered me as a buffer to decide whether should I go do this full time or not. And 2018 July I started full time. July 4th is the incorporation date as well. And since then I was doing this supervisedlearning.com, where I teach and mentor people transition into data science as well as NLP. So yeah,
Great.
that's a brief introduction, I would say.
Thank you for that. That is quite a journey. So you said you graduated in 2016, is it?
12, 12, 12.
2012, and
Yeah.
from 2012 to 2016, you did 4 years
Ex-
of.
Experimenting
Right.
with entrepreneurship itself.
Okay.
So originally, I did electrical engineering. I published quite a few papers in
Right.
undergraduate itself. So right out of my college, I started one venture, which is no longer working. So the venture again, it's also into edutech, but then it's more of mentor-mentee connecting platform, uh, especially for undergraduate research. Today, IITs and NITs have incorporated undergraduate research as a part of curriculum. If you look at IITs, triple IITs, fourth year, fifth year students are publishing research in 2022. But back in 2012, we didn't have that kind of antu or allowing students to publish papers.
Right.
So my idea was that okay, if we can connect PhD students who always are lacking time to experiment the new ideas in their field with undergraduate students.
Right.
So both together could work and produce papers. The problem with the academics in those days or even today is lack of qualified experts who can guide people in research.
Right.
Professors are very less. Their time is way even more less. They don't have time to train undergraduate students in research.
Right.
So this whole idea was based on that undergraduate research. So 6 months of BTech thesis, and we have 7 lakh graduates coming out in India. So probably 1 lakh thesis come out every year, BTech thesis, and none of them go into production or there's no tangible outcome for the BTech projects. It's just going as for the sake of it.
Right.
So that is the motivation. That's when we started. I experiment a lot of things, but
Hmm.
mostly bootstrapped then as well. And then I felt okay, I'm too young for this, inexperienced for this. Then I left that dream in around 2015 time.
Okay. So you tried this from 2012 to 2015. 3 years you
Yes,
tried this.
yes, yes, yes. I did it.
Okay. So, can you share, what are your key learnings from that period, Prithvi? Because it's interesting, right? 2012, you
Yeah,
graduate. You must have been, what, about 22, 21, 22, I guess.
yes, 21.
And
Yeah,
you do not join a full-time job, and
yes,
you're trying some stuff on your own for 3 years. But then
right.
again, 2018, you're back full-time um,
Yes,
into
into
entrepreneurship, and then you have a
entrepreneurship.
5-year gap. So what happened in those
Yes.
3 years, 2012 to 2015? Like, what happened in the sense?
Okay.
What made you decide during 2015? Okay, you know what? I need to stop this. What are your learnings?
Okay. First of all, I ventured into it without even working a single year for in the corporate or anything. So if you have asked me how to project manage or how to put a task for yourself, how to manage money, how to incorporate a company, zero. I started in 2012 with that zero knowledge.
Right.
So a lot of fundamentals around the business I'm not clear with, first of all.
Mm,
And second thing is, when I started in 2018, I have some money to put in, or I know some skills to monetize, go and monetize on the weekend or something.
right.
But in 2012, I didn't have something like that.
Right.
And yeah, mostly money and having lacking business fundamentals. And I feel that market then is not ripe for this kind of product. We wanted to do everything online then, 2012. Because I'm an NIT graduate, I've seen 4 years of internet in my college, but that's not the case of internet. In 2016 also, we were paying 200 rupees for 1 GB of mobile data until Geo came.
Right.
So data accessibility and online accessibility, so these are the things which we are quite familiar with now. But back in 2012, if I said to people, hey, there's a portal, there are people, 20 people mentors, you can go and find your mentor,
Mm,
you can pay them hourly, and you can choose some project, get some real life projects. So this was something too early for those days, what I feel.
got it.
And lack of money also. So you should all my takeaway is like you should get started with some basic seed fund from your savings, and then pull
Right.
in from something from family, and that's how you get started. But Jack, one thing I'm really proud of is, instead of making a platform, I went as a mentor in my own platform. I pitched services to students. I got 2 or 3 students trained, mentored, and they also published their research. They got motivated, they joined research universities, pursued their MS and thesis. I still remember them, they still are in touch with me. So as a idea it worked, but as
Right.
a platform, scaling it, making it wide to audience, it didn't. So today a lot of platforms are doing that actually.
Got it.
Mhm.
And when you decided, you're going to pursue something like this after you graduated in 2012,
Right.
you had your family backing you, they were supporting you.
Not really. Dad was always supportive. Mom was shocked. So, yeah, I think not much, I would say.
Right.
Uh, yeah, it's hard. Again, the entrepreneurship bug, I'll come back and say the word today in 2020, with Shark Tank episodes coming every
Right.
week, probably entrepreneurship has become a norm. 2012 is like a decade ago. It still was not norm. Zomato was not born, Swiggy was not born, Uber was not born. So it was those days, right?
Right.
So people haven't heard about startups then. But yeah, I had that ideas coming from. I would especially thank Hari, one of my senior who
Mhm.
came from US, started an incubation space in NIT Varangal in those days, motivated people. Uh, and VA Shastri, one of our alumni, who donated money to build an incubation space. Yeah,
Right.
that was the time when. So you can think of as T Hub of NIT Varangal. Then
Right.
now today T Hub is very famous in Hyderabad.
Right.
So in those days itself, NIT alumni Varangal people. I mean, our college has that vision actually to start some entrepreneurship in the college itself.
Got it. Great.
Yeah,
So, what happened after 2015? 2015 to 2018, I'm sure it's quite important because for you to be able to
yeah,
start in 2018 again, you must have done
right.
something right between 2015 to 2018.
Yeah. So first thing I found, I came into an area which is very wanting. Earlier, I was working in electrical engineering research.
Right.
From there, I shifted to data science, which is very upcoming. Where that's first thing. Second thing, I equipped myself with the data science skills.
Right.
And third thing is, I went to a product company, worked there for some time. I went to a services company, worked there for some time.
Right.
I directly reported to 2 CEOs,
Right.
and I had the seed fund which I had wanted always to start my startup.
Mm,
So I think checks for all the 4 marks which is required to start up again.
got it. But
Yeah,
how did you identify data science, Prithvi? Because there are,
yeah,
see, today you're
yeah,
clear. That day, you
yes,
might have had 10 things in front of you. But how did you
right.
choose data science?
Okay.
Especially
So
having come from,
yeah,
electrical.
yes, from electrical. See, I'll tell you, Coursera first started in 2011.
Right.
with this Andrew Ng's course.
Right.
So, in fact, when I did research, also I was working on optimization algorithms, which is something very close to machine learning field actually.
Mm.
So when Andrew Ng's course first enrolled in the NIT Varangal, we all planned as a student club. We all planned directly telecasting it live because internet was not available for those many students.
Right.
So that course became very popular. Still, the foundational course for AI, even on Coursera. That's where it started. But during 2012 to 15 break, I didn't realize that machine learning data will go this big actually.
Mm.
Second thing is in 2015, I came across this one article, not article, a video of a woman, TEDx speaker, not about data, but she was talking about false cases of 498A against men. So 498 is harassment of for dowry or something,
Okay.
and 498A section. And as per that section, if a woman goes and complains in a police station,
Mm-hmm.
that man, no matter who he is, will get arrested. Husband's family, even if it's a 3 years old kid, he can be put in jail.
Wow.
So that is that is the article 498A. This woman was talking about how this act was being misused,
Mm.
uh, to settle the scores or
Mm-hmm.
to get divorce or something.
Right.
So it was very powerful law against domestic violence.
Right.
So when I saw that, it was literally agitated. I never know about that law, first of all.
Right.
Literally agitated. Then I went and talked to my mom. She said that there's one person she knows who have experienced such thing. So it's a lot of agitation. Now I wanted to know truth. Is this woman speaking truth, or uh, is this section really that atrocious? Is it people using for misleading,
Mm.
or like uh, people are using it for that? Then I went to the NCRB website, National Crime Report Bureau website. They
Okay.
publish a yearly report
Mm-hmm.
in all the IPC 23 sections, according criminal sections,
Mm-hmm.
under which punishments can be given, how many cases are filed, how many got convicted, how many got released, saying that the case is not valid.
Right.
Then I calculated this conviction rates for last 10-15 years, conviction rates across each IPC section. For example, for murder, for rape, for theft, etc. Now, I figured out there are 20 or 21 sections over
Mm.
the years. This particular section, which is 498A, has lowest conviction rate. The average conviction rate was 40%. This particular section has only conviction rate of 21%
Mm.
and highest withdrawal rate. So
Mm.
maybe top one or two in terms of withdrawal rate.
Right.
So I compared it with other sections actually, because across the sections, my assumption is across the sections, the conviction rates and withdrawal rates should be similar.
Right.
But this is pointing out to the other direction, saying that a lot of cases are getting filed, cases trend is going up, conviction trend is going down, and withdrawal rate is also going up.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the evidence I presented, and saying that, hey, this article could be being misused by women against men to settle the scores.
You
So
presented to whom?
I wrote this article for a website called factly.in.
Ah.
So these are the people. In fact, I talked to them and I said, hey, you should write an article on this. And they were like,
So,
okay,
Prithvi, one
get
minute.
the
One
date.
minute.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Now, this whole you writing this article for Factly, right? So, what is that
Yes.
all about? Like, was it part of your data science project?
I'll tell you. So I
Okay.
was not in data science there.
Okay.
So throughout this, getting PDFs, downloading it, calculating the Excel, putting all the data on Excel, calculating the conviction rates and writing a
So this
story.
was this was just a random interest for you. You were like watching a random
Random.
TED Talk video, and then you come across this 498A, and then you get agitated, and then you are just doing it for the social
For the
interest.
entire day, I did this, and then I
Okay.
realized, okay, we need some tools to work around the data. And in fact, that article got published in Factly. There's a lot of interest came in, and
Ah.
in fact, I got into a flow. Like, I really wanted to do it, I did it, I felt proud of that work. Then I
Hmm.
realized the work of, and at the same time I was looking for some areas I wanted to get into. Then I had one of my friend who recently transitioned into this field. I went
Right.
and spoke to him in Hyderabad. How is the work? I talked to him. I researched a bit. So yeah, my past experience with optimization and this work, and I tried Python several times, also learning Python,
Right.
and all this mixed up. And then I realized, hey, this is the field I want to go in,
Hmm.
because I did a background research. And one more thing is, I read a book called Freakonomics.
Economics.
Even today, even today, if someone wants to come into data science, I'll ask them, hey, go and read Freakonomics. If you feel like loving that book, loving that kind of analysis, then yeah, Freakonomics writes about data-based facts, analyzing and drawing
Right.
insights from it.
Right.
So
Great.
these are the motivations. I figured out I will like this field based on this work actually. In fact, you can think of a small internship that made me
Got
realize.
it. Got it. Great. So, so you said this because I asked you, like, how did you end up in data science? Why did you choose data science?
Yes.
And you chose because of this particular TED talk that happened to be about 498A, section 498A. And then you
Yes.
just got involved in it personally. And
Yes.
then while getting involved in it, you felt you needed more tools. And that
Yes.
is, you used Excel and all those things, but you felt there is something more that I need. And that's how you got
Yes.
into data science. Great.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And after that is when you go join a certification course in data
Course in
science.
data science. Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So how long did it take for you to finish this certification course?
The certification course was a 6 months course. It was completely physical.
Okay.
Back then, I used to stay at Kodada,
Uh,
my hometown itself. The course was in Hyderabad. So I used to do up and down for 6 months. Every day, Friday evening, travel 200 kilometers, attend the classes for 2 days, and go back on Sunday evening or Monday
oh, this was
morning.
a weekend batch.
Yes, this was a weekend batch. Yeah.
Great. And after
Yes.
this 6 months is when you get into the jobs.
Yeah, after 6 months, during this cohort itself, the founder of the institute offered me a job, come join this institute itself.
Okay.
And after that, I landed up a job in Bangalore as well. So
Okay.
both happened. So I felt like, anyways, I'm teaching. If I work for this institute again, it would be teaching. So let me go and experience the product. So I joined that small startup in Indiranagar, Bangalore.
Right.
So that's how it started.
Great. Great. So, um, 2015 is when you get into data science and all this journey, and then
Yeah.
you work until 2018 before you start,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you said you started sometime in July 4th is when you incorporated
Yes.
in 2018.
Yes.
So before incorporating on July 4th, when
Right.
was this idea? When did you, before, everybody when they want to start their own business, right? They don't start
Right.
it straight away. It
Right.
would be
Right.
a side hustle while they work. So how many months of that happened? How many months of side hustle happened?
Yeah. So 2017 November or December, I think December, one
Hmm.
fine day I opened LinkedIn after a long time. I
Okay.
just wanted to write a post. That was my first post. It
Right.
was like, hey, a lot of people, I don't remember the post, a lot of people would require mentoring to come into the field.
Right.
So I am looking forward to mentor a few people who
Hmm.
want to come into this field,
Okay.
into data science.
Got it.
My thought was like, I'll find one or two people, I'll try to mentor, help them out. This
Right.
out of boringness from the regular work, I wanted to have a side hustle. Didn't plan for it.
Right. Right.
Just thought how it would work. I put a post. That post went viral.
Now, this was a free thing that you offered or a paid thing that you offered?
I didn't figure it out whether I should do paid or free. I just said I'll mentor people, and
Uh-huh.
in my mind, I wanted to do free only.
Okay,
I
got it.
didn't want to charge anyone then because I'm in a full time job. It had 400 likes, almost 100 people responded. Uh, it took me 4 or 5 days to manually reply to everyone. And then I said, like, okay, let's talk on a call, and I arranged a Hangouts meeting, I guess.
Right.
I didn't know Hangouts meeting has a limit, and people started responding on one weekend. Hey, Prudhvi, we can't join the session. And that's when I reached out to Deepak. Hey, Deepak, I kept the post. This went viral. By then, I know Deepak, and your team is building something for EduTech. I
Got it.
interacted from 2016 through Abhiram as well.
Abhiram is the
Uh,
one who introduced to Deepak.
yes,
Right, got it.
yes. By then, I was talking with Deepak itself. So Deepak quickly said, "Okay, we'll onboard you. You can use the platform." And by January, during this 1 month, what happened is what I planned to do mentoring, but
Hmm.
everyone were like, "Prithvi, we want classes. We don't need mentoring. Only mentoring will not work." Kind of response.
Right.
Okay, and that's where I thought, okay, anyways, I'm interested in teaching. Let's start classes,
Right.
and I started weekend classes. January, we started the first batch with 5 people,
Mm.
and that went up to May, I guess. Yeah,
That was your
so
first cohort.
that's
Okay.
yes, that was my first cohort.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Great.
this was the side hustle I kept on doing. And one more motivation I had was like, I always wanted this side hustle and keep learning because I felt education, training people is a way for mentor also to learn.
Got
So
it.
that's one more motivation.
Got it. And these five students were paid thing that you did
Yes.
because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, from mentoring, when I shifted to live classes, it was like, okay, we'll do the paid thing itself. Yeah, instead of unpaid, because unpaid doesn't work because there are platform charges and all.
Right.
I'm
Right.
also
Of course.
spending time.
Yeah, you're spending your time. It's only fair.
Yeah, yeah,
And you got all your students through one LinkedIn post, correct?
yeah, yeah.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Great. So that's a marketing strategy.
I'll tell you. There was this one student called Siddharth.
Right.
He's the first student as well.
Okay.
At one point of time I said, hey, this is overwhelming me. November, December, I'll not do any mentoring, I'll not do teaching. I dropped out almost.
Okay.
But Siddharth was the student who persuaded me. Prithvi, you said in the call you will take classes. I love your teaching.
Right.
I got to connect with you. You should start, etc.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it started. In fact, due to pure follow up of Siddharth for 3 or 4 times, one of the factor I took to start the cohort.
Got it. And I think from whatever you've said, you did not need
Yeah.
much of a money to start off with, right? No capital
Yes.
requirement. Or I
No
think the only
capital.
money that you would have spent was for the online platform that you needed to carry out
E.
the teaching.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So a couple of things, right? When you start off
Mm.
something like this, see, you start telling, you think that you'll just mentor two people, but then that becomes a viral post, and then people are asking you to take classes, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to start off with 5 students. Now
Right.
tell me, there is a lot of decisions that needs to be made before you start, right? So many
Right.
aspects. One is
Yes.
how much to charge, whether you're going to
Yeah.
do weekdays or weekends, how much time
Right.
is needed, and what is the
Right.
curriculum. Are you going
Right.
to create materials, or is everything going to be live class? And
Right.
the projects, can you
Right.
walk me through this entire process? How did you crack this? Did you have a co-founder, or were you a solopreneur? um,
Yeah. Again, I had some no co-founder or solo. I'm
Got it.
solopreneur all throughout, at least
Right.
during that time.
Mhm.
And second thing is curriculum. I was aware of, because see, one more thing, Jag, I wanted to tell you is,
Right.
by then it was almost 1.5 year in data science.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
and second thing is, I personally went through a cohort,
Mm.
and I know that cohort did not really help me when I went into industry. Industry was very rough. I had to
Mm.
learn things right on the go. Simple example is, my cohort was completely based on R, and my Bangalore startup colleagues were laughing, oh, you're gonna code in R? No, get out of here, kind
Oh.
of thing.
Okay.
I had to shift into Python within a
Mm.
day.
Mm. Oh, okay.
Within a day. So so there are a lot of learnings on how a real cohort or real education and data science should be, which I assimilated during my 1.5 years of or 2 years of work at industry.
So, Prithvi, sorry to stop you. You're saying that the 6 months of certification course that you did over the weekends didn't really help you out as much as it should have.
Yes, to be honest, looking at the
Ah,
hindsight, yes. But at the same time, it didn't see, if I don't have that, I would not have been here. It
correct.
laid a foundation,
Got it.
it made things easier to understand. But
But
much
there
of
was a
the
lot of
journey,
self-learning as well.
a lot of self learning
Okay.
afterwards. That's
Ah,
why I felt like, okay, we should have it. See, let's say 10% is what I learned. For the, if
okay.
industry need 100%, I learned
You learned. Okay.
10%
So,
in the
can we
cohort.
say for people who are listening, I mean, not only
Yeah,
data science, right? People who
yeah,
are in a transition phase. So,
right,
if there are some courses like what you attended, if there are courses like
yeah,
that, is it
right.
good to not have great expectations but to just consider these courses as just a stepping stone, but then you will still have to do the 90% of thing yourself, right?
Yes, yes, I would gladly say that even today when I subscribe to new courses also, I'll keep that in mind, because a lot has to be self-learned sometimes.
Mm, right.
And you go into course with a lot of expectation that doesn't work out,
Right.
then it might be a problem.
Got it.
There is one part with the economic side, the cost of the course side also.
Hmm.
If the there should be, again, it is an Indian mindset.
Hmm.
People expect a lot of value from what
Right.
they put in the money.
Correct.
I'm not answering that side of the question.
Right.
uh, but if you are saying that a lot of the courses will not provide 100%, will never be able to provide 100%.
Got it. So, okay, going back to your experience, right? We were
Yeah.
talking about your whole decision process, and then you said that,
Yes.
you learned from
Yeah.
R, but then you had to switch
Yes.
to Python.
Switch to Python.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of these learnings helped me in designing the curriculum. So curriculum was sorted.
Ah,
So
right.
curriculum is just 2 days of time sitting.
Hmm.
Then live or self-paced, I think I remember having had a discussion with Deepak also. And coming from a teacher's family, we never go to self-paced. Even today,
Self-paced. Right.
I'm not very comfortable self-paced. And given that I'm mentoring,
Right.
I can't exert influence through self-paced.
Correct.
So that is sorted. Business wise, it was only extra income, so I didn't do. In fact, if even today, I didn't do a lot of workout around pricing. Get an expert, see what is market charging. I didn't do the pricing analysis till my 9 batches or 10 batches. So I only thought, okay, I had 2 or 3 ballpoint figures with about the industry going. I know what is my value add. Okay, this will be reasonable amount. That's what I had in mind, and I charged that. So that's how it went. So most of the decisions, I curriculum and academic, I could take it on my own. Rest all the decisions, took some decisions and made it work. Yeah. So
Great. Yeah.
that's
You
how it
took some
went. Yeah.
decisions, made some decisions, and made the decision work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't make the right decisions. You take decisions and then make it right. Great.
Have to. Yeah.
Uh, okay. But when you were, let's say, for example,
Hmm.
deciding on the pricing. Did
Right.
you consider, did you want to consciously be lesser than all the competitors, or like, the big players?
Okay. Yes, I wanted to be, but I had my calculation in mind, because see, any edutech product is has a marketing and sales cost to it.
Right.
I thought I will get my students organically
Hmm.
and pass out that marketing and sales cost to the
Students, right?
students. So basically, because this isn't completely designed organically, I don't
Right.
want to charge them likewise. So that is the only thing. And to the value I provide, I would say I'm charging the premium only. And never has been my intention, okay, to get more students, let's charge less kind of
Mm.
thought. Uh, so it's not like, if you ask me, Prithvi, do you want to sell an iPhone or Xiaomi 10K phone or MI 10K phone? I would say I want to be an iPhone only. Even
Right.
today, I want to be an iPhone. Uh, I want to
Right.
give
Right.
that premium. Yeah.
Quality. Yeah.
Quality. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, at the at the point, when you started off for the first time, obviously,
Right.
you had challenges in terms of making decisions, right? But after you started, because it was your first batch, did
Right.
things really pan out the way you planned, or were there a lot of challenges you faced and on the go changes were made, or on the go adjustments?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, definitely adjustments have had to be made.
Hmm,
Uh, Type of delivery,
hmm,
like more hands on rather than theory,
hmm,
trying to make it more engaged, flexibility with the timings, half an hour, 1 hour, like that for the students.
hmm.
uh, Slight changes in curriculum, also add some topics, remove some topics,
Right.
adding more assignments or less assignments. Yeah, so these are the things which I had to make changes. But one thing I didn't anticipate was I was expecting all the five students will be there until the last class, but that turned out otherwise. Though, so I didn't have this completion rate concept in mind then. So
Right.
yeah, so that was
So,
one.
what was the completion rate of your first
Uh,
batch?
Two students completed it. That's it, out of five.
Okay. So, what happened? What happened?
Uh, I think most of them were working, so they had their
Right.
own applications and they dropped out. Some of them came in next batches actually,
Hmm.
but yeah,
They couldn't give the time.
that's yes, yes,
Okay. But the fees were collected upfront.
yeah, yeah. The fees was collected upfront. Yes,
Yeah.
true.
No, obviously, right? Because I mean, them completing is definitely, not in your control. There's only so much that you can control because you're
Yes,
committing
yes.
for the entire time, and
For the
it's only
entire, yes.
yeah. Okay.
And there was considerable mentoring component to it also. I said, like, I'll assist
Right.
them on the weekdays. I was available on the call. There
Right.
was a Slack channel, they can communicate with me directly.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Their assignments were evaluated. Any personal request like resume review has to be accommodated. So yeah, we keep these things in mind,
Lot of
right?
things
So
apart from the
a lot of
benefit.
things.
Right.
Yeah, and the problem is the dropouts mostly happened at 60%, 70% after the live class delivery.
Got it.
Uh, Maybe 50%. Below, if they have happened at 20%, 15% of the time, at least we can think of it. But even today, I observe the same. The dropouts happen at 40%, 50% of completion. Hmm.
Okay. And this is because they realize, they're not able to pick up the subject at that point, or is it because they're not able to put in that much amount of time and effort?
Uh, I believe this basically because uh, you will get something if you badly want it only in today's world.
Right.
Uh,
The desire, the
uh,
drive to
that drive and all. Even today, I tell this example, Jack, to a lot of people.
right.
Uh, like a deer runs for life, a tiger runs for lunch. Okay, I
Hmm.
mean. a deer and tiger are chasing. Tiger is chasing deer.
Right.
Deer is running for life. Tiger is running for lunch.
Hmm.
So who will win? Most likely it would be deer, which can escape because it's running for life. Okay, not the
Ah,
tiger.
okay.
Okay, tiger is hunting,
You
but
mean to
it's
say
it.
that deer's intention of escaping is way higher than tiger's intention of catching the deer? Because tiger is not at the
Yes,
risk of losing its life, but deer is the risk of
yes.
losing. That's what you mean to say. Okay.
Yeah. So when often in sales calls, people ask me, Prudhvi, will I be able to make the transition? Then my answer is always this thing: Are you running like a deer, or
For
are
life,
you running like a tiger?
tiger for life. Right.
Okay. So I use this concept also because a lot of them are working. They
Right.
have family responsibilities. They
Right.
have work, professional responsibilities, etc.
Right.
So you're in a position of tiger. You just need a lunch. You don't need a life now.
Right.
So if you need a life, then data science is for you because that's the amount of time you have to put for career transitions, at least in this field.
Got it. So you said that, when you got this five students, you were still working, right? And then you only did
Yeah.
it during the weekend. Now you would have,
Yes.
planned, okay, look, you know what? I'm working also. Weekdays, I
Yeah.
can only do so much. Weekends is when
Right.
I'm going to spend the time. Now,
Yeah.
tell me, if you estimated a certain amount of time before starting,
Right.
how much was it true? Did it really go above and beyond the number of hours you planned? Did it also spill over to the weekdays? How did you manage?
Definitely. See, first of all, I didn't plan. I know my work would get really hectic,
Hmm,
uh, but definitely it was more than expectation.
hmm,
The time or preparing the slides from the
hmm,
scratch.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
Uh,
hmm.
Definitely, it's more. It did spill into my personal life,
Right.
my professional life also. Luckily, I could manage
Hmm.
because I had this habit of deep focus, deep work, staying away from the distractions, and I'm prepared for it. So I
Right.
was like, chalo, we'll do it and
Great.
all. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and one more thing is supervisedlearning.com is a premium domain, very premium domain. I
Hmm.
had to put entire money which I got from this batch just to buy the domain.
How much was that?
It was, I said, right, I charged 50,000 for each student. So,
Close to two and a half
five,
lakhs? Two and a half lakhs?
not 2.5 lakhs. I mean, all the students didn't pay full amount.
Okay.
1 to 1.5 lakh
Wow. You spent
around
so much for the domain.
just for the domain. And Jake, I'll tell you, sitting in the office one day, I thought, okay, I think it was February. I when I made the decision to do the training and to want to make it full time. I made that decision. I'm looking for a name. Supervised learning is a premium type of machine learning, one of the machine learning algorithm. At
Ah.
the same time, it is like mentor based learning meaning also.
Correct, correct, correct. So
Uh,
it's also a generic meaning, but later I
yeah,
realized that it has also got to do something specific to machine learning. Right.
machine learning and supervisedlearning.com. How the hell did this website no one buy? And I searched for it. I was in the office 12 o'clock. I was sitting right in front of my boss. My boss table is there.
12 o'clock afternoon?
And yes,
Okay.
and I found the domain. I got connected to this GoDaddy executive. The executive know that I was buying, so I was like, hey, stay hold on to this line. She was like, no sir, don't worry, this is a premium domain, I'll stay connected, don't worry. And I swiped 3 credit cards, and I made that purchase on that day. Till today it remains one of the best decisions, I would say, to choose that domain. uh,
So you did not consult with anybody before going ahead and buying that
no,
domain. No.
no, I searched, it was available, I made a call.
Great. And this was when you were mentoring these five students, is it?
Yes, it was February or March of 2018.
Okay, so you hadn't called your venture supervised learning before that.
No.
Ah, interesting. Great.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I
Uh,
never imagined, because usually the most commonly said is, your domain doesn't matter. You mean, why do you need to save money in these uh, areas of the business, right? But then you've gone ahead and made a pretty hefty investment for somebody who's going to
hefty
start off.
investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So first thing is, I said like, hey, that money is not mine. That money came from a LinkedIn post. I'm already working Monday to Friday. Salary is there. This is some extra money I'm making. I want to buy something worthwhile.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I had this penchant for good domains from long back, not just now, of course.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wait, now this is something that struck my head. Were you approached after you bought by other people? Were people wanting to buy it from you for a higher price?
I was approached definitely for a higher price, of course.
Okay.
They didn't tell me the price, but I got emails actually, and then I discussed it. And I got a lot of data scientists asking me, Prithvi, how the hell did you get this domain?
Right.
Yeah, because they know the value of it. Even from my cohort where I educated,
Hmm.
where I got through, the mentor who taught me one day came into my office. How the hell did you get this domain? I was like, okay, I searched for it. It was there. I got some money. I got some guts. I got more guts than money to buy it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously, because it is such a invisible thing, right? Hey, where
Yes.
did your money go? Oh, I've bought a domain. Where is that? That is
Domain.
somewhere. I don't know where is it. It's there. If you go and type it on the internet, it just open up. So what you do with it is what matters more than just having it, right? So great.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Prithvi, coming back to your 5 student batch that you started off, right? Your
Yeah.
first cohort. Now tell me,
Hmm.
what was the combination? Like, I know that you are naturally inclined not towards self-paced courses, and you were into live classes, right?
Right.
But
Right.
did you kind of mix and match the combination of live classes and self-paced courses to save time, to make it more efficient? What was the split like, and how did you arrive at the decision?
Zero jug self-paced part. Even today
Oh,
we
okay.
do 100% live, nothing
Okay.
self-paced. But yes, there were thoughts from day one
But Prithvi,
onwards.
sorry to stop you.
Yeah,
Sorry to stop you.
yeah.
I think at this point it's important to know what is
Hmm.
your definition of self-paced learning and what is your definition of live classes. What is included in self-paced and what is included in live method?
Okay, so live classes means trainer coming online
Hmm.
and teaching. When I say online, it's like a Zoom or Google Meet, where
Right,
in person, instructor
right,
led classes, that's called
right.
live. And
Live.
self paced is instructor sometime back he recorded and they put it. Student can
Mm,
open anytime and complete them. So the best example is you think Udemy as a self paced. Most of the courses on
self-paced.
Udemy,
Right.
Coursera are self-paced. We are completely live, 100% live. Yeah.
100% live. So, but you would have the students do assignments and do projects and all, right?
Yes.
Apart from your live
Yes. Yes.
session.
Yes. Yes. That's there, anyways.
Okay. And what would those entail? Let's say, for example, a capstone project, or,
Yeah.
uh, some sort of, would you ask them, what, here is a resource, I want you to go learn this and come back? Would you do that?
Uh, yes. We do that in an indirect way. So we have quizzes. Some of the quizzes will include topics which are not talked in the classes. So I
Hmm.
allow them to go and research and problems also. We ask students to solve some problem using Python,
Hmm.
some problems using hand method, pen
Hmm.
and paper method also. So all of them would have at least 30% or 40% of topics which they have to go ahead and read again, which is not there in the classes also. So that's how I
Hmm.
make them learn beyond the class. Mm.
Got it. And what were the timings like on Saturdays, Sundays? the classes?
I think it was 9 to 12, I guess. Yeah, 9 to
Morning 9
12
to
in the
12. So
morning.
3 hours on Saturday,
Yeah.
3 hours on Sunday.
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Great. Okay. So, Prithvi, now what next? You finished 5 students. Do you start
Yeah.
another batch in the middle of those, in the middle of that cohort, or you waited for it to finish? How did you proceed from there?
Yeah. Basically, I waited for them to finish itself,
Hmm.
and I think from there onwards, I made a decision to pursue this full time.
Full time. You had to
Uh,
quit the job.
Full time. And one more aspect here is I wanted to pursue a part-time master's plus PhD, let's say part-time PhD
Hmm.
at Triple IT Hyderabad.
Hmm.
So one of the reason for pursuing this full-time is also I can pursue my PhD part-time
Hmm.
and do this educational thing part-time,
Hmm.
like 50-50% of the time.
Hmm.
That was the motivation. And then I said, like, so for example, if you work 6 days a week, 3 days I'll do PhD, 3 days I'll put supervised. That was the decision I took, and I resigned my job in 2018 July. And
Okay.
then I started full time,
Okay.
and that's how my journey at Triple IT Hyderabad also started. But of course, after the startup took off, by 2019, 1 year into the master's program, in a part-time fashion, the supervised was growing so big, and time I required at this company was requiring more, and
Right.
I'm enjoying this process more. So
Right.
I kept that master's aside for quite some time after 1 year. Mm,
Okay. Got it. So,
yeah.
okay. Okay. Got it. You did not pursue masters from there.
Yeah, I kept it on hold actually. I can go back and do it at any time as
Okay,
well.
great. No, no, no. I just asked because that only
Yeah.
indicates that your supervised learning was a great success, right? Because
Yes,
that's how
yes.
I see it. So, Prithvi, tell me, you were probably,
Hmm.
everybody may not be able to pull it off the way you did. You got some revenue, and then
Right,
that would have obviously given you some confidence to quit your job. And I'm
right,
sure when you started the second batch itself, you wouldn't have missed the money aspect from your job. You might have made up for it
right.
with supervised learning from the first
Y-
month onwards.
yes,
But did you have any apprehensions? Were you having any doubts?
yes.
And how did you thought, okay, you know what, this is a gamble, I'm going to go for a gamble, or did you have any method to the madness?
No, there has been a lot of apprehension, lot
Uh-huh.
of stress as well.
Okay.
At one point of time, I think 4 months into starting supervised, I prepared my mind to go and ask my roommate to pay the rent. We were in a sharing apartment. I prepared my mind, and he's a very close friend. He's like, he loves entrepreneurs. He's like, chalo, I will pay for next 3 months. Go and do what you want.
Wow.
So
Great.
I mean, he's that sort of personality. I didn't ask actually. So that was the kind of stress
Right.
I went through, because there's no guarantee that second batch will have 5 students, right? And there's no guarantee everyone will
Right.
pay also. And as expected, the second batch has only 3 conversions, by the way.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's happened after I resigned, and costs were mounting. And then I thought, like, I'll go as a consultant, help other edutechs who want to start up, and or take up some classes in the evening or something like that.
Okay.
So that's to generate extra revenue,
Mm, mm.
to help me float and to get invested in supervised.
Got
So
it.
that was the plan
So
actually.
you didn't
Mm.
really, take off the way you thought you might. You only got 3 conversions, and then you were
Yeah.
saying that you had to go and work for other academies and teach to make some extra money.
Yes.
You had to do, okay, all these things. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
at any point, did you, just backtrack and think, oh, did I make a mistake? Should I not have quit the job? All those thoughts, were those things there?
I never had that. Uh, See, I had regrets. I worried about how to get the cash flows.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I personally enjoyed it. I never had the thought, should I go back to the job? I was always
Right.
like, can someone come and give me work for 2 days as a data scientist, please? Can someone come and give me work for 3 days as a data scientist? The other 3 days I have for my startup. So that was the thought.
Ah,
So I was like 20%, 30% making less than what I need, actually maybe 50%. And by the way, all this was happening uh, when my dad could fund me. I can go, Dad, this is the situation, give me some money. Or I could ask my
right.
friends. I'm the youngest in the family. So I had 8 brothers who are working, cousins, Abiram being one of
Oh, oh,
them. So I
okay.
could ask any one of them, hey, can you help me out? I didn't still touch upon friends and family, but I know back
Got
in
it.
mind I have their support.
You have that cushion, but you didn't
I have
utilize it.
that cushion. I didn't. You call it ego or self-respect, but I had this. Okay, I had to stand on my own. I'm not gonna
So,
ask anyone help of money.
right.
Yeah,
So, Prithvi, you said, you had made only 3 conversions
right,
as compared to 5 in your first batch. So,
right.
how did those 3 conversions happen? Same LinkedIn post itself, or it was word
Yeah,
of mouth
same
from the first
LinkedIn.
batch?
No, no, no. Same LinkedIn post itself. In fact, I started loving LinkedIn. The kind of platform it
Right.
is, the kind of way you can demonstrate your knowledge, especially the text
Hmm.
posts were going viral. No, not many creators there. Not many data scientists who can add some real value. So that's how
Right.
it went. I mean, I started posting actively. I really loved it. In fact, I
Okay.
had my marketing. I mean, the startup in I worked at a company called Perceptive Analytics. The company
Right.
CEO as well as the marketing expert both still appreciate me how the way I grew LinkedIn, actually. So yeah, uh, from the
Okay.
LinkedIn the lead started flowing. There's no other way, and a few referrals from old friends, actually old friends. By then I communicated to all my NIT friends, school friends, hey, I'm doing trainings, if you know someone who need help, please refer, etc. Yeah.
Okay. But looking back, right,
Mm.
would you do anything in addition to just promoting on LinkedIn alone? Or would you have still
uh,
stuck to LinkedIn only?
I would have spent a little more time on any other platform, like
Like,
perhaps YouTube, perhaps YouTube,
uh,
or
hmm,
uh, I think my personal aversion against self-paced hit the marketing ability. Because I
hmm,
wouldn't, I would always refuse. Hey, don't want to record. I'll go live,
right.
kind of person. So yeah, I think looking back, yeah, some more channels would have really helped. That's what I
Hmm,
feel.
Got it.
But it is always your time is limited, Jag. Today, if I had spent more time on YouTube,
Right.
maybe I would not have been so proud about the content we developed.
Right.
Today, the content we developed is at a place where even 3 lakhs per student courses couldn't develop such good quality content
Right.
academic wise. So yeah, I spent a lot of time there. That is the only
So
thing.
by content, you mean to say, see, you're not doing self-paced courses, right? So by
But at
content,
least
what do you mean?
yeah, at least what goes into live also, because there are a lot of tutorials,
Hmm,
Jupyter notebooks,
hmm.
the slides, assignment questions, questions ka
Ah, right,
solutions, quizzes ka solutions. So all this academic material uh,
right, right, right.
are and even after the course we give some self-paced content as well after the course, not before the course.
Got it. So
uh,
when you say we, you started hiring people for your team, is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
I had to. I think by 2019, 18 July, August, I started. 2019 February, I had to February, no, March, I guess. March is when I had two interns.
right.
Both of them were first my students or mentors through LinkedIn, and they were looking for
Mhm.
some work. I was looking for some help actually,
Somebody, right, right.
and I figured out like if you are a one person you will never scale, so let's get hire a team and let's start building something. I think that's the yeah, 2019 March onwards we had employees, two interns and me. Yeah.
Great. So you say that, 2018 July, you only have three students, and then
Yes.
2019 February, you hire. So what happened in that? I mean, in that 7 6 months?
uh yeah, I think it's just a shift of one thing is shift of mindset. So
Okay.
when I started tapping the consulting market, a lot of people were willing to pay for my services. That's one thing. Second thing is I think I got one opportunity to teach on Saturday, Sundays itself.
Right.
I think it was in December 2018. It
Hmm.
was paying a good money, but it's a physical classroom,
Hmm.
9 to 6 actually, 9 to 4, not 6, 9 to 4, morning 9 to 4, almost 6 hours of
7
teaching.
hours.
7 hours of
Right.
teaching. Let's remove the break, and 6 hours of teaching. It was from a good institute, good money. But the
Hmm.
only problem is I cannot take any batches for supervised. So I said like,
Oh, you
okay,
had
I'll
a. Is that because of the time constraint, or you had
yes,
to sign some exclusivity contract with them?
no, no, not exclusive, time constraint only.
Time constraint. Okay.
Time constraint. But still, I went and started a batch, which is batch 4. From 5 o'clock to 7:30 is the batch. That's the first
Wow.
batch I took in the
So
evenings actually.
9 to 4, you finish that, and immediately you start another batch from 5 to 7:30 or
7:30.
8:30. Wow.
And
Okay.
this is in a different place than my
The institute.
sitting place institute. So I had to travel from 4 o'clock to 7:30. Jug, it was worth it. I still remember teaching at 7 o'clock or 6:30. My voice used to go blurred sometimes. And it was a very hard time. I could hardly sleep also sometimes on those days, but it was definitely worth
Because of the
it because
excitement, or was it
not
because of
only I could afford two employees, Jug. If I do that for 4 or 5 months, I can wipe.
right, right.
I can start doing supervised batches myself,
Got it,
right?
got it, got it. You were building a fund for supervised learning by doing all
Yeah,
that.
I was building a fund. Yeah, it was definitely, even today I go and I taught it 9 hours a day almost. So I feel proud of it. Monday to Friday, anyways, rest, like go sleep, go to a mall, no worries.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yours is mainly weekends. Supervised learning runs on weekends only.
weekends only, because on the weekdays you don't have a lot of
Yeah,
batches.
people are
No,
working.
no,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
great. So, okay, fine. 2018, before you quit the job, you teach five people, two people complete, and then
right.
2018, second batch, three people, all three people completed. Was the course completion 100%?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it was good. Uh,
Okay. And what is the duration of your batch typically?
it was generally 5 months to 6 months.
5 months, 6 months. And
Yeah.
while you started the second batch, did you start another one during the middle of the second batch? Or did you wait for the second
No,
batch?
no, 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 no. It was always so morning batches only I used to take. So I had to wait till this batch completes. I didn't
Right.
run parallel batches then.
So
Yeah.
when you say
Mm.
2019, you hired, from the third batch
Right.
onwards, you had employees or people to work with you as a team.
So there was no third batch. Just like there is no, I guess, Windows 9. There was no third batch. I said batch 4.
What
So
is that? I don't
uh,
understand. Can you elaborate a little bit?
No, I so after batch two, I took a outside consultant. As a consultant, I went to other institute and trained them. Right, so I treated myself like, okay, this is the third batch. Let it be
Ah,
third batch.
right.
And when I started for supervised again, I said, okay, let's call this batch four. That's it.
So when did batch four start?
Batch 4 was, I think, February of
2019.
2019.
Okay. And same,
February,
did you
January.
did you change your marketing approach or was it only LinkedIn?
No, it was LinkedIn. It was LinkedIn.
Okay.
But by then, a lot of referrals were coming in, Jack, actually. My friends, family,
Mm.
they were giving. In fact, batch 4, I remember we had done almost 15 conversions, 10 or
Wow.
15
Wow.
conversions.
That's
Yeah.
quite a jump.
Quite a jump, but many of them at a discounted price, etc. That's the only
Yeah,
batch we
that's fair.
reduced.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. But still, 15 is a very healthy number for you also, like
very
so
healthy
early.
number. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, got it. And so what happened from there? Like, 15 and then what next?
15, and then I stopped as my predictions went. I got my fund, 15 conversions. Then I got some revenue for this interns also,
So when you're talking about
mostly
funding, these are not external funding, friends, family. These are funding that you earned yourself.
revenue.
You built
I
yourself.
would say revenue.
Right, right.
So from this revenue I grew confident, and I said, we started batch 5, the first
Right.
batch on weekdays actually. For the first time I said, in the morning I'll teach Tuesdays and Fridays morning. That's when I started batch
Right.
5. And by then I'm also I was thinking of getting into another kind of uh, course, which is called NLP 100 hours course, natural language processing. So the
Language
fundamental
processing.
idea
Right.
is, we wanted to train all. So the data science market has a lot of beginner courses, no intermediate or
Right.
advanced courses. I wanted to be the first
Mm,
person to get into the advanced courses segment, where
mm,
already who are data scientists will come and learn with me. So that is the
mm,
idea.
mm.
So we started the NLP 100 hours course. That was in mid of, by the time of launch, yeah, it was mid of March or April of 2019.
Got it. This one. This
Yeah.
was like what? How many? What was the duration of this, and what was the fees that you were charging
This
for this?
Yeah, yeah. So this fees was very a bit less. We started it as 1 pice per second batch, 100 hours course. So it's like 3,000 rupees. So 3,600
Wow.
seconds basically. So 3,600 rupees is the course cost. And remember, this was a live class, and it was an advanced course. No one in India still has this course.
But how is it, Prithvi? You said 100 hours, right?
Right. Yeah.
100 hours is 60 minutes.
3,600 seconds. Sorry, I think I charged it
600
1 rupee
minutes.
per minute. 1 rupee per
Ah,
minute.
okay, okay, okay. 600 minutes into 60. Okay, got it, got it, got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. But I
So,
thought, the reason I asked you how much you charged was because this you said is an advanced course, right? So I thought probably, you would have
yes.
charged more.
See, the problem, what I felt is, see, target audience are data scientists already. So I
Mhm,
wanted to build a community of data scientists, first thing. And second
mhm.
thing is, uh, they would have figured it out already. See, they would have figured it out, this kind of NLP knowledge. People will pay for one course in this, maximum two courses.
Got it,
But you can't expect a 2-year data scientist to pay for an NLP, because he'll be like,
got it,
hey, I'll
got
take
it,
a textbook and learn it, something like that. And
got it.
again, we thought like, again, my thought was like, I would go and tell all these data scientists, this is how we teach. If you want to refer anyone, please refer us to end-to-end data science course. So think of end-to-end data
Mm,
science as our profitable business, and LP is as a funnel which we are building basically. but this is for advanced users. Why for advanced users? Because in the market, if you are gonna ask anyone who is the best institute in data science, who will you ask? You'll ask the data scientist, right? So if
Right.
they can endorse us, will be really good. That is the idea.
That's how you. Yeah, I was a little confused because how can you get how can you make an advanced course a funnel for some of your basic course? But your idea was that if people are gonna go ask the data scientists, they're gonna like refer you back, and then that's how it's gonna be. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm still stuck in that calculation part a little bit. 100 hours per
Okay.
hour, 1 rupee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Per per
So
minute, you charge 1 rupee, I think.
yes, per minute we charge 1 rupee.
1 rupee. Yeah, yeah. Because per
So
second, no, it would have been
per second it will
30,000
be
rupees.
very high. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you basically, in that 100 hours, 40 hours was self-paced,
Right,
60 hours was live. So I was just saying 60 hours live, 60 minutes, 16 to 60, 3600,
right.
and 3600 rupees. uh, so that's how it came calculation.
What was the
So it
strength
was
of that
per
model?
minute. That strength we couldn't control. We got 100 people enrolling for that.
Wow. Okay, that is nice.
Yeah. See, we didn't make a lot of revenue, but even today I am very happy with the NLP course.
Okay.
And the kind of challenge is also huge. The
Hmm,
expectation was huge.
hmm.
Things were huge, but yeah, I think I'm still happy with that NLP course. I can proudly tell you there is no single edutech who is doing 100 hours of NLP
Okay.
even today.
You mean to say
So
that there are people who take more than 100 hours, or people don't have content for 100 hours?
they don't have 20 hours of content also,
Ah, that's great. Okay.
right?
So,
Mm,
Prithvi, this is something, right? Now, I just want to get back to you about the logic
yeah,
behind. You were doing a 15-member batch of 5 months of data science course, right? Which
right,
definitely seems more profitable to you.
right,
But then you also plan to do this NLP 100 hours. Now, was
right.
this a marketing move mostly?
uh, the pricing was a marketing move, I would say.
Mm.
And second thing is, uh, yeah, so basically I didn't feel like charging more. I didn't think too much into marketing also. I didn't
Okay, no,
have
the
a
reason
marketing expert.
the reason I'm asking you it like this is because
Mm, mm,
you are already, you're doing something that's been successful. 15 people have
yeah,
joined. My question is
right.
why this NLP? And then when you said whatever you said, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
am I right in assuming that you thought, okay, you know what, we need to grow our mm, uh, flagship course, which is data science. So to
right.
grow that, did you see this NLP as one of the methods to grow bigger in that thing? Did you see it as that, or it accidentally happened?
It accidentally happened, first
Ah,
thing.
okay.
And second thing is, the vision I had. In fact, supervised learning as a machine learning term, I used it because in 2018 itself, I saw a huge number of institutes doing data science training.
Hmm,
I thought like, and my knowledge is also coming from, hey, I completed a basic cohort 10%, and I am came into industry, I had to figure out this 90%. So the
hmm,
fundamental idea was, why can't we start a courses for people who graduate from great learning upgrade? So all my competitors, people
hmm, hmm.
whoever make a career transition, should come to me and learn
Ah,
extra things in data science. So I wanted to place supervised learning there. That was the first thought. The idea of NLP 100 hours being affordable is also the same
all
thought
these
process,
big
actually.
players didn't have NLP, is it?
No,
Wow.
even today they don't have. Even today they don't have.
Okay. Any reason for that? Not that there is no demand for that, right?
There is demand, but market is too fragmented,
Hmm.
and I don't think. See, who will take a NLP course? people who completed a data scientist journey itself will
Correct.
take an LP course.
Hmm.
Now they already burnt their pockets with this expensive fee. They already had this edutex. I don't know whether this edutex will have returning customers or not. So, I mean, I'm talking about premium
No,
edutex.
it's interesting you're
Not
talking
every.
about this because this itself can be a huge topic for us to discuss. I'm definitely going to come back to this. But
Sure.
you know what? I want to, complete this one storyline, right? Because we are
Right.
now at 2019 second half. That is where
Right.
we
Right.
are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you complete your NLP. Now, the reason
NLP.
I'm
Yes.
interested here is now tell me something.
Mm.
2019, let's
Right.
say you finish your NLP, and then,
Yeah.
2020, probably you would have had plans. The pandemic hits in March.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
what happens here?
I'll I'll tell you by September, Jag, we were doing almost 10 lakhs a month
2019.
transactions. Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Batch. So that NLP batch starting and that boosting the team. By then, 2019 September, I had 4 people. We were publishing use cases.
Right.
Our data science batches were going with a lot of enrollments. Batch 6 came up with 30 enrollments. Batch 7 came up with 45 enrollments. Batch
Wow.
7 was
Okay.
somewhere in July. Batch 8 was at 50 enrollments. And things, I wish I had breaks, Jag, in those times, because every of the initiative which I took started exploring, and in fact I became a bottleneck at some point of time, which I can only understand looking from hindsight. I'm
Okay.
the only person delivering. See, my original plan was, hey, I used to get some 70K or 80K. I get the same amount of from the trainings. I want for that I need 5 people,
Hmm.
and here you go. NLP has 100 people, and batch 7 has some 35, 40 people. Don't remember the numbers exactly.
Right.
So things slightly started escalating, scaling on its own, which I didn't
Which you
plan for
weren't ready
actually.
for, or you didn't kind of expect that sort of a growth.
I would say, and I had to make hiring choices on marketing and sales. Never we had hiring, and so we had a team of 4 data scientists. We were preparing content, we were teaching. All the LinkedIn posts were managing by me. So September, October, November, and my CA, I had no experience with accounting.
Right.
Okay, the first time I went to CA was like, you didn't deduct TDS for teacher discount payment. Why didn't you do that? So honestly, I didn't know TDS. I didn't know GST. We became GST compliant in the second year itself.
Okay.
So these headaches were coming over hiring, co-working space,
Hmm.
managing the space. 1 year back, I had to ask my friend for rental. Now I had to manage every other shit, which is nothing related to teaching.
Right.
So, I mean, it was good part. I
Happy
could
problems to
manage
solve. Problems were there, but
happy
they're all happy
problems to
problems
solve.
to solve. Right. Right. Right.
But they came at a level which I didn't
You
anticipate.
didn't
Uh,
anticipate.
they,
Right.
they came at a speed which I didn't have. Fortunately, I had friends to help. We
Right.
did well. In December, I think November end, we started batch 8. Batch 8, we had to take 60 enrollments. Jag, I had to say no to people. Remember, people were coming with saying, hey, I'll pay 50K for your course. And I said, like, no, wait for 2 months. Imagine
Okay.
who will have that scenario.
Just for the nice feeling of it, I just want to
Yeah,
kind of walk through the numbers of growth. Now that I've spoken to
yeah,
you, your first batch 5 students, second batch slight dip 3 students, third batch you
yeah,
teach for somebody else, fourth batch is 15, fifth batch is
yes,
30, sixth is
yes.
40, 50, and then we are talking about 80 here. Wow.
Yeah, batch 7 was 6, batch 8 was around 60, 40,
Now
50,
all these are
60.
happening through LinkedIn and referrals alone. No
Only LinkedIn.
paid marketing at all.
Zero, zero. All LinkedIn. Batch 8 is the pinnacle. Batch 9 is even more. Batch 9, I have almost 65, 70 enrollments actually.
Wow.
And this started taking a toll on my health. In fact,
Hmm.
I wasn't taking rest.
Hmm, hmm,
Saturday, Sundays teaching.
hmm,
Again, Tuesday, Friday NLP batch. And these enrollments, managing employees, because
hmm.
once you hire people, you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
assign
yeah,
work to them.
yeah, yeah.
Payrolls, CA, accounting, co-working space. So too many things, and the pressure of what's next, how to take this all, how to sustain this and all. That
Right,
started taking a load
right.
toll. And by then, by February, I think in the mid of February, I fell ill for continuously two
This is
weeks.
what,
Uh,
2019 you're talking about, or 2020?
2020,
2020,
2020.
just before
So
the pandemic.
just before the pandemic. So then I couldn't take classes for 2 weeks continuously.
Hmm,
I think batch 9 started in February first week.
hmm.
And I had a very bad mouth ulcer, so I couldn't speak actually.
Okay.
So that for 2 weeks I couldn't speak. I was well. I was walking. I was going to
Hmm,
office. I
hmm,
was
hmm, hmm.
posting on LinkedIn. But
But
I
you
had
couldn't.
very bad, yeah, very bad mouth ulcers, for which I couldn't, and I was not able to sleep properly.
Hmm.
So that was those COVID came to me before actually hit the world.
No, I mean, are you serious?
So
You got COVID, or you're just telling
no.
symbolically? Okay, got it, got it, got it,
Symbolically,
got it, got it.
symbolically, I knew that I had to slow down.
Hmm,
But after that, so the main problem happened is I couldn't take classes continuously in February and March. I was like very taking a lot of breaks, taking
right,
small classes.
right.
And I couldn't explain to students, hey, I have mouth ulcers, I'm not taking classes.
Got it, got it.
So I think that's when we enrolled for batch 2 of NLP. By the way, in December we enrolled for batch 2 of NLP.
Hmm.
Uh, but this time we charged it 15,000. Batch 1 was just
You charged 1 rupee
eh,
per minute, so 3,600
yes.
something, right?
Yes. Then we jumped to 15K, 10K, 15K with recordings and without recordings. Still, we had, I think, 20, 25 enrollments. But what I did is for college students, I just offered it at 1,000. So, still in batch 2, we had again 90 enrollments.
Got it.
Uh, but tiered pricing, uh, same revenue as batch 1.
Right.
But yeah, February 2020 is what my personal health things started falling apart.
Got it.
So yeah, so from there I had to put brakes. It's an opportunity. So batch 9 started in February, and batch 8 was there in so basically till September, till COVID subsided, I didn't take a new batch. 5 months.
Hmm. Okay.
So I
You were
was
at
like,
home.
okay,
Lockdown.
I was at home, I was teaching. And luckily, because we had a complete online thing
Hmm.
from day one, we were teaching on Zoom. Our core operations didn't get affected
Affected.
because
Yeah.
of COVID.
Because you didn't have to change
Because of,
anything. You were already online. And
yeah,
I think
I still remember I got this microphone from my office, sat at home, started teaching.
that
That's
is
it.
Blue 80.
Yeah, Blue Yeti, yes.
Right.
Yeah. And by the way, I purchased this in February 2020 itself. When I was ill, I was like, okay, let me upgrade my setup at least.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Blue 80 is like one of the sought after.
Premium, have
Yeah.
to, yeah.
Great. So,
So that's, yeah.
okay, we are right now in 2020. So, 2020, so even before pandemic, you were anyway doing online. So, the pandemic didn't
Online, yeah.
really disturb your thing. In fact,
Didn't really.
pandemic must have only increased the demand for your courses, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
So one thing is we put breaks. Second thing is so all our target audience were software employees. Jack. One thing is they
Hmm.
were worried about the job,
Job, right,
and COVID immediately had some layoffs, especially in some sectors which were affected by COVID.
right,
A lot of people were working from home suddenly,
right.
a lot of stress, etc. I remember having taking sales calls. People were saying like, "Hey, Prudhvi, Monday to Friday online Zoom call. Saturday and Sunday I have to learn on Zoom. No, not now, etc."
Mm,
So
right.
and that is the same time which gave rise to a lot of YouTube influencers, everyone
Right,
coming
right, right.
online
That's correct.
and
That's correct. Yeah.
teaching stuff, etc. COVID-19 immediately didn't give us any boost, or neither it didn't give any dip,
Dip.
but we started seeing the dip from October onwards, October 2020,
2020. Right.
to almost next November onwards, until 21
What was the dip
October
like
on.
with V? So here we are talking about a revenue of say close to 10, 20 lakhs per month.
10 lakhs. Yeah. So dip was slow actually.
Hmm.
And so we were doing 15-20 still, 15-20 per batch, which is like quite comfortable for me. So you
Okay.
can say 50% easily from the peak.
Was the dip?
Uh,
Okay.
was the dip. First thing is, it was not completely my personal choice. It was not completely due to COVID. It was my personal choice also.
Right, right, right.
Reduced my posting on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Uh, I really wanted to take a break. See, 2018 onwards, 2018 July to, let's say, 2020 July, I literally don't remember how many movies I watched, or how many times I ate my favorite food, or how many times I talked heartily to my niece. So it was a lot of juggle, hustle, etc.
You mean to say your
Uh,
personal life took a toll?
yes,
Right,
uh, and I won't regret it. It was a choice. After that also, COVID gave me a time. I said like, okay, let me go back and complete my masters.
right.
At the same time, teach whatever I could. For 1.5 year I was doing that. So we were running one batch or two batches,
Wow. So
and I
you
was
got back to your
just,
masters.
yes,
So
I
you've
got
made
back
some
my
progress. Have you finished it or is it's ongoing?
I finished almost 50% of it.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Listeners, this is this is something, whatever Priti was talking so far itself is, something like dreamy. On top of the look at this guy, he's almost successful. Now that, in the break, he wants to go back and do masters. Everybody
Yeah.
quit their education to do business. This guy is taking a break from successful business to do masters. Wow.
Yeah. See, that is the reason. I still feel that is the reason I started it off.
Right,
If someone says supervised learning, I still remember I wrote it in my diary. I had did podcast. I said to people, "Hey, 3 days of my work for supervised, other 3 days for my triple IT masters."
right.
So that's how it started. So I went back, I took courses, I completed 6 courses, I got A's also in few courses. I'm happy with that.
Great. Okay, great. So, Prithvi, we were talking about, a point in 2020 where for a lot of reasons that you also consciously thought that you'll kind of ease into supervised learning, decrease the onboarding. But you
Right.
also said that even if you decided that by itself also it stagnated and then there was a downtrend. Now, what do you attribute these things to? Is it because of the pandemic itself, or also was the data science industry as as a whole was undergoing a transition?
So I would say mostly 95% directly or indirectly related to pandemic itself, because
Okay,
pandemic affected every life, right? So
right,
on one side, people who want to pursue data science courses, they were doing work from home. It was
right,
really taxic, sitting all the day. At one point of time, people were vexed up. A lot of
right,
digital
right,
content consumption, etc. They wanted a break out of it. That's one thing. Second thing is, yes, data science industry hiring and all is also a luxury for many industries, because people are experimenting with it. Okay,
right,
a lot of small and medium scale industries went to cut off this data science teams. initially during the pandemic.
Mm,
And as soon as the second wave subsided, they thought no other wave. So you see there are a lot of ups and downs in the industry as well. We don't know who is keeping data scientists, who is hiring, who is leaving. The enterprise
right,
is good. I mean, the big, you call the big Fortune 500 kind of companies, they're good with it. I mean, they benefited a lot from low interest rates. They didn't have to think of anything else during
right,
the pandemic. So the other side, there were too many changes happening. For example, retail, big retail had to hire data scientists. Small retail, they have to think of their supply chains first, so they were struggling. So yeah, due to pandemic there's a lot of change.
right.
And also on the business side, again, as I said, a lot of people sat at home, they didn't have time. The content creation is going up, the algorithms changed. So people were creating content like crazy.
Crazy. Right.
A good or bad, no one cares. Works or not works, no one cares. There's a video today or not. And and it's very monotonic for employees also to work from home, so everyone are glued to screens. Consumption went up, production went up. So yeah, I think these are the most prominent reasons I could figure it out, why the data science education industry went through a lot of phases. And Jaga, it is notable to see, I've followed this space for 5 years. I've seen at least 10 companies,
Right.
local, big, small, who raised funds, who didn't raise funds, just go out of business in this 2.5 years in data science
Data
education
science
field.
industry is what you're. Oh no,
Education,
okay, 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 okay. Got it.
data science edutech. And I'm talking, this is a time when edutechs all over India
In
were
fact,
getting.
my next question was this. So,
Yeah,
Prithvi, what was your observation about some of the competitors? Right, there were a
yeah,
lot of data science coaching centers.
yes, yes, yes.
So you're saying
Okay,
at least 10 of them who you knew shut down. They
shut
went
down.
out of
Yeah,
business. Okay.
yeah. Offline, first let's segment it. Offline,
Right.
immediate shutdown. Most of
Right.
them,
Right.
only 10% or 15% shifted online. Uh,
Right.
and online players, in the like low price, medium price people, they're also torn apart because of this free content from YouTube kind of
Right.
thing. And high priced ones, their margins got hit. The hiring became very difficult. Everyone suffered. And the mid price range, uh, I saw at least 3 or 4 companies in the mid price range just go bust.
Right.
And the people who just started 6 months before pandemic,
Right.
like let's say October 2019 to 2020,
Right.
immediately shut down. A lot of small, at least people like Supervised, where we used to be like solopreneur, we started like a team, we went back becoming solopreneurs again. Yeah,
So
so
you had to let go of your team at some point. And when was that?
yeah, it was September 2021 when I had my last teammate resigning. Not resigning. So one thing I did was I didn't want to cut off anyone. I
Right.
didn't want to fire
Fire anybody.
anyone.
Right.
Yeah. I just told them, at least last 2 3 people, hey, this is the scenario. Uh, but we'll keep working because I'm running batches. We had revenue coming in. I am good to pay salaries.
Right.
But so the last data scientist I had a plans to go for masters. So
Right.
as soon as he went to for masters, and the other person who was handling operations had got a pretty decent hike, and
Nice.
that person also left. So I, during the entire pandemic, though we struggled financially,
Right.
I'm proud that I didn't cut off anyone. I
Fire
didn't
anybody. Yeah.
fire anyone. Yes, I didn't
Yeah.
fire a single
Yeah.
person. And in fact, I paid in full to everyone. Whatever the salaries we discussed, signed
Right.
up, I paid in full. Not even a single
Great.
rupee withheld. I
Amazing.
just want to run it without regrets, at least in the beginning of my career, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You seem to have pulled it off like that. No bitter feelings.
Yes.
and no bitter experiences for anybody. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like, you cannot have them, but everybody tries to avoid it, and you've pulled it off
Yeah.
because businesses are about money at the end of the day, right? But
Yes.
Prithvi, now let us say, so in that way, this is how I'd
Yeah.
like to conclude. Your story is still a great story because, I mean, as a listener, right, for me, I'm not trying to, analyze, judge, and all those things. As a
Right.
listener,
Mm.
who's been listening to you, your journey, and all those things, when you said
Right.
your business kind of stagnated in 2020 September and then it kind of saw a downtrend going ahead, I thought, okay, what happened? But then when you go back and look at a bigger picture, the
Right.
perspective is, hey, boss, 10 other data science coaching companies have shut down. And if you
Yes.
manage to sustain in that period and you're still managing to keep the show alive, I think you're still doing and you're still being pretty
Yes.
successful, is how I'd like to see it. Because obviously, nobody escaped the pandemic. Some people
Yep.
were hit very hard. And,
Very hard.
there's nothing could be done about it. But
Yes.
quickly, there are two things I want to go back to, right? One is,
Mm.
yes, of course, we've established that pandemic was very, important. That played a role.
Right.
Would you have now? Let's say you said that you were on LinkedIn, right? Now
Right.
you said yes, it would have been better if you were on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Now, for somebody who's starting off, let's say
Right.
they are a data scientist themselves, say they are somebody like you listening, and then
Mm.
they have a good LinkedIn presence. Would you ask them to just stick to LinkedIn, or should they be proactive and get on other channels, other platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and all those things? What is your advice?
Okay, my advice would be, again, it depends upon personality, but at least two should be good. Without any of them, they have to rely on the paid marketing, I would say. So at least two is good, and my advice is to, like, you have to do it consistently for quite some time, either on LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram, for at least 1.5 year, without any organic leads or anything coming up. If you are going to do it, it would be much better. And today's YouTube, when compared to when I started 2019 YouTube, now it is almost saturated level on the data science channels as well.
Right.
Same thing with LinkedIn also. Lot of players. So consistency plays an important role. That's the first advice. Second advice: any two should be good, actually. Yeah,
Any two should be good, is what you're saying,
any two. Yeah, one
based on
is
the
definitely.
strengths of that particular person.
Yes,
So
yes,
your answer to, if somebody is looking for, okay, which platform do I take up as a primary promotion thing? You're telling that it depends on the personality and the kind
yes.
of skills they have. But
Right.
I'm thinking LinkedIn is a non-negotiable because this is something
Yes,
related to professional things. So I think LinkedIn
yes.
should be there compulsory.
There.
And as
Yes.
a supplement to LinkedIn, I think you can either be on Instagram or YouTube, is what you're saying.
Y- Yep. Yes.
Got it.
That should be, and you should be camera ready. You should
Right.
have at least a few digital marketing skills, at least fundamentals, like how to produce content.
Right.
That, yeah.
Okay, great. And right now, you are primarily on LinkedIn, and then
Yes.
you're also right now pursuing your master's as well.
Yes, yes. So basically, the new update is, by 2023, I think 22 November, I
Right.
completed 3 semesters of 2 subjects each. So totally,
Great.
I'm done with 6 subjects, which
Okay.
is like almost 50% done. The most difficult part. Now, what I was doing, I am planning to do is get back to supervised again with full force. Now
Okay.
I've got break, got enough energy. I've set up, sorted my financials, and everything is sorted. Now I'm coming back and planning to launch 2 batches slowly and 3 batches at a time. So that's what beginning again the journey to scale up. I'm ready to scale up if it really scales up. Yeah,
Brilliant. No, no, no. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. But I will definitely come to this. This is like very
yeah,
interesting. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to talk
yes,
about. I have a lot of questions around this, but
sure.
there is one thing that I just want to close the loop on.
Yeah.
When we were talking about a time in 2020 when it got stagnated and it was seeing a
Mm,
downtrend, you spoke about having enough runway.
yeah. Yeah.
Now, just to understand, Prithvi, like in terms of students, we did understand. In terms of
Mm,
revenue, right? Let's
right.
start from, let's say, 2018 July is when you started off officially,
Right.
and
Right.
then 2018 first half you kind of tested the waters. You had your first batch with 5 students. Now,
Right.
after
Right.
starting officially,
Mm,
2018 half year, you had 3 students. That's all. I think
right.
we are looking at a revenue of about 1 lakh for the year of 2018 second half, right?
Yes. Yes.
2019, what was the entire year's revenue ballpark number?
Okay. So we hit almost 80 lakhs
80
for
lakhs in 2019.
1920 financial year.
Okay. Okay.
That
1920
that
financial year. That is starting from April 2019 to March 2020.
20. Yeah,
80 lakhs was the revenue.
almost. Yeah,
And
80
you
lakhs.
and at
Yes.
this point you had a team size of
It was varying. At the start of the financial year, it was three itself, but at the end of the financial year, it was eight.
wow. Okay.
So on an average, it is six people. Yeah,
6 people.
yeah.
And these 6 people, couple of them were interns or all of them were interns?
Mostly all full time, no interns.
Okay, all full time. Okay.
Though we took as an internship, they were full time in office internship only.
Okay.
Uh, and I think I think in the first quarter of 1920, that is by
Right.
May June itself, I no longer took interns.
Interns.
I just gave them role as a data scientist starting, irrespective of the capabilities, etc. So yeah,
Oh, you
because the
gave them
firm
as a data scientist only. So what were these people doing? What were their roles?
okay, so most of them are data scientists. The reason I required data scientists is we had a plan to build up a lot of use cases,
Right.
custom
Right.
use cases,
Content, you mean.
solutions, content. And second thing is we wanted to get into advanced courses also.
Right.
So the data scientists were helping up in building use cases at
Right.
the same time building up any coursework also.
Right. Got it. Got it. Makes complete sense. And these were the people who also helped you with other stuff whenever needed. And
Whenever needed. By the end of 1920, I have a person for sales, I have a person for marketing full time.
so that makes it 8 people
And
with 6 people.
yes, so I said on average six for entire
Got it.
financial
Got it.
year.
Got it.
But
Plus or
yeah, at
minus
the
two
end,
or one here and there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
And
that
what was the average salary that you were paying these people on a yearly basis?
uh, okay. So it was like too variable because
What was the
I
lowest and what
had
was the highest
lowest is 25K or 20K. That's for
per
data
month
scientist with zero
experience?
experience.
Got it.
And highest I went till was 1 lakh a month. So it was
Wow.
always
Okay.
to 12 lakhs per month. I think I remember it's 1,10,000 also. That was the biggest hire I made just before the pandemic. I think it was it's in February 2020 we signed. Yeah.
Got it. And then you also had an office, right? Like physical office
Yes,
that you were
yes,
paying
yes,
rent for.
yes, yes, yes. That was around 40K a month. Cabin,
Got
91
it.
Springbird. Yeah. Mm.
Got it. Okay. So now, 2019 2020 financial year, we are looking at 80 lakhs, let's say,
Right.
with an expense of about 2.548, like 25 30 lakhs would have been your expenses, right? Now,
Yeah, yeah.
on that, I mean, approx, right? Now,
Approx, approx.
there's a reason I'm just coming to this, right? Now,
Mm.
from 2020 April to 2021 March, what did this 80 lakh look like?
Almost came to 40. Uh,
Okay,
the
which is
next
still not bad,
financial
is
year.
what I would say.
Yes, yes. I see. That's in mid of pandemic. People came to zero. I'm still
Exactly.
happy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I'm still very happy. I thank God. I thank my audience, everyone, because we could do that. No regrets.
Got it. And what is it now from 2021, 2022? What was it?
So we are still doing somewhere around 40-35 every
And this is
year.
being an individual. You're a solopreneur,
More
back to solopreneur now.
solo back to solopreneur. So I'm still doing 30. to 40, in the range of 30 to 40,
Brilliant.
which includes all the consulting income I'm making, and
Right.
service providing, or going and training for supervised batches, everything. Yeah.
And as a solopreneur, what does your expenses look like, Prithvi?
Ah, okay. So because we are going completely organic, most of my expenses is in the terms of time where I create the content itself. But
Brilliant.
if you're saying paying, whom are you paying? Uh, Sometimes I take help from other consultants. I pay, so
Okay.
just for uh, 1 month or 2 months, or hourly consulting or something like that.
Got it.
That's one of the pay. And the platform charges for running the website, the learning management system,
Got it.
and of course CA to maintain your accounts, and if at all any depreciation or computers gadgets which you buy to deliver
Right.
the courses. That's it. And of course that's it. Apart from that, nothing did I put. I'll tell you one thing
Ah,
which comes from personal life.
right.
So in February, not February, March 17th of 2020,
Right.
3 days before,
The lockdown.
3 days lockdown, I think 4 days
March
before
23rd
lockdown.
was when the lockdown was announced.
Yeah. 17th, I signed an agreement to purchase a house.
Oh my God. Okay. This is in
And that
Hyderabad.
was, this is in Hyderabad, the
Okay.
same house which I'm residing in.
Brilliant.
And it took a lot of toll on me. First thing is, uh, actually, my purpose was for to rent it out
Okay.
and generate some rental revenue.
Right.
And this is right located in financial district, which is where all the software employees work. And March 23rd, lockdown came in. Everyone packed and went away.
Okay.
And the community which I live in, that's a community where owners have to beg, literally beg, hey, come and occupy our houses. Almost 50% of the community was vacant, including my house. So I
Okay.
have to move in. I have to pay the EMI,
Right.
and down payment gone, EMI gone. So at least I don't say it's a wrong move. It turned out to be a wrong
Turned
move.
out to be that way. Nobody expected the pandemic, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It makes, I
So
think,
that took a lot of toll on the financial health. Otherwise, and let me tell you, Jag, I'll tell you, I'm an entrepreneur,
right,
so I never bothered about the finances, the income I took. But when I sat with the uh, credit team who were offering me a loan,
right.
so it took a very hard, lot of time, lot of convincing to get a home loan, which is considered the safest loan in the country. So I had to go around 2 3 banks.
That is
This
because
is
you were
the
not working. You didn't have a salary, but you were an entrepreneur.
yeah,
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Despite having, I
This
mean, 80
enormous
lakhs
success.
revenue is not less, man. I mean, it's,
Yeah, not less.
and you're not even in a manufacturing or something where revenue is something, profits is something. You're pretty much
Yeah.
making what, like a chunk of the
Uh,
revenue is your profits, net
yeah,
profits, right?
happily they can happily do 40%, but the only problem is, again, it's a startup, so generally
Startup,
for
yeah.
banks,
They need
they
at least
consider
3
three
years of
years
IT
three
life.
years and we are second year. No
Right,
one cares.
right, right, right.
So yeah, I'm lucky I somehow managed the loan and figured it out. But yeah, that was one crazy ride actually.
No, that's amazing. Seriously, it is. It is a crazy ride, right? I mean, because just imagine so many stories like yours out there, and I'm sure
Yeah,
everybody will have something to talk about and the difficulties. Um,
yeah,
from a financial perspective, right? Whatever you
right,
underwent,
right,
so see, nobody can fault you or blame you for going ahead and using the money that you earn to make purchases and stuff like that, because
right.
um you're gonna be optimistic about the future, but then something like a lockdown comes. It is literally a once in a lifetime event for a lot of people.
Yes, yes,
What has it affected you in some way from spending perspective? Has it changed your outlook about money? Are you like extremely safe now? What is that? Have you changed your method of handling money now since then?
Yes, definitely yes. One thing is, Jag, even before pandemic, I had a friend who is a business advisor who used to say, Prithvi, you are extremely frugal. If you look at me, I'm always on the conservative side. I don't take any risks. I don't take any chances, etc.
Right.
So our burning was like 10%. CAC, cost of consumer acquisition, is zero. Zero marketing spend. The salaries which I pay for data scientists are though reasonable. It's a small chunk of the revenue we are generating. I
Yeah.
played very safe even before pandemic, but
Right.
still I struggled. Jack. I can say that.
Right.
And yes, it definitely changed my view towards money. It changed a lot actually. So like now I think two times before committing any major purchases,
Right.
either
Right.
on behalf
Right.
of personal life or on the company side. That's one thing. And
So do you have any
that,
rule now? Do you have any rule? Let's say, for example, you want to purchase something which is 25 lakhs, let's say. Do you have a rule now?
yeah,
No, you know what? If I'm going to purchase something that is worth 25 lakhs, I need to have a liquid money of 50 lakhs at least in the account. Do you have
yeah,
any such
yeah,
rules?
yeah.
What are
I
those rules?
don't keep any rules, but I'm just not committing any lump sum payments.
Right. Right.
That's one thing.
Right.
And second thing is, see, I would say even if COVID has come at least 4 months late, let's say instead of March, let's say it came in September,
Right.
I would have been in much safer position because I took some commitments in February, March, which were like hiring big people and taking a
Right.
house on personal front. On personal and professional front, we took a lot of major decisions.
Right.
I didn't anticipate anything, but still I played safe. I didn't owe money. I didn't default anyone. But yeah, if coming back to rule, no such rule, Jack. But upfront payments, at this time I would be very careful. Paying for 1 year, paying for 2 years, or taking a big gadget or
Right.
something like that. Yeah,
Got it. Got it, Prithvi. No, this is like really insightful. I'm going to come back to this in a different angle a little later because I think I still have some other
yeah,
questions related to your business itself. First, I want to talk about them.
mm,
Now,
yeah,
coming back to the
right,
current thing,
right,
2020, you've gone back to being a solopreneur from 2021 September, if that's correct.
yeah,
Now it's
yes,
been about
yes,
1.5 years. You've been like solo
yes,
now.
yeah,
You said you're going to be launching multiple batches now, right?
yes,
So, and
yes,
you said your financials are back.
right.
And I'm sure these financials are back because of your 1.5 years of hustle, right? Your
Has,
consulting,
yeah,
so you've
yes,
literally been saving.
yes, yes, yes,
Great. So
true.
now, what are your plans like laid out? I mean, like, are you going to be building a team? How are you going to do two, three
Yeah.
batches? Are you going to be hiring data scientists again? Are you going to also hire people who are going to be teaching, or is it only you teaching? What is all these things?
Okay, so first thing is one of my dream even during pre-pandemic time was to get into consulting job. I
Right,
always believed doing service providing, building products, and teaching. All the three. That's what I wanted to do in data science segment.
right,
So think of other competitor like some other edutech. They teach everything: management, project management, a lot of tons of courses.
right,
But we wanted to be a niche player in data science who can do services, who can do product building, have our own products, who can do research, who can also teach people.
right,
So this is my vision, 5 year vision, or which I had during the even before I started supervised.
right,
In fact, the reason we aggressively hired data scientists also uh, is we actually signed up to NDAs. We're about to get the data. We're about to get kickstart two consulting projects before COVID.
right,
But as soon as the COVID hit, the education. So I took a brand name also, Avani.ai. So we are still considering
right,
building services and products because what I believe is if you just teach, you don't become really good player. You
right,
teach, you hire them, you provide jobs. So
Right.
it's like a community I want to build around, an
Got it.
ecosystem to be
Got
precise.
it.
That's the vision I had. And yes, now I'm going to restart that path. On the education side, the plan is to increase the batches and hire one or two data scientists. And one regret I had is I didn't publish enough free content on the website. So I want to fulfill that. So we want to publish free
This
content.
is this is
We
what I meant when I asked you, would you look back and do something differently? I think
Yeah.
you mentioned the most important point here.
Yeah. So I want to do some more free content and put it on our website. We don't. I also had regrets about community building. Want to build community, do some free live classes, and have some office presence in Hyderabad.
Right.
Invite people to our office, do meetups, something kind of things. So that's what we missed out. We during pre-COVID. Now we want to begin with that. So yeah, so teaching and consulting with full vigor. That's the plan
Awesome.
going up forward. And of course, the first hires would be data scientists. And yeah, that's it going to be. Hmm.
Great. Great. Prithvi, I'm going to come back to this important thing. Free content.
Yeah,
I'm going to like
yeah,
dig more, pick your brain a little bit more, right?
right,
Look,
right,
I think it's so underrated and so important today, free content. Now tell me, Prithvi,
yeah,
you've already been on LinkedIn, you've built
right,
a brand and stuff like that. Now,
right,
even for you, you've realized free content after a number of years. Like at least after four
right,
years, I think is when you're like seriously talking about free content. Now tell me
right.
what made you think about this and what do you think this is going to help you accomplish? And generally, would you
Right.
also advocate this to all knowledge entrepreneurs out there, who are into teaching?
Okay. For this, I'll first start with any marketing person who will reach out to me. If I explain my explained story, they'll say like, "Prithvi, you're an outlier." First thing is because for most of the knowledge entrepreneurs, they start, they give free content, they
Right.
distribute, they build a funnel, and from the funnel they would make some sales, a small sale, some from them big sale, and
Right.
from them even big sale.
Right.
I'm like, I did LinkedIn post from bottom of the funnel and I made 50K conversions end-to-end data science.
Right.
I ran this without anything in the middle of funnel for
Right.
17 batches.
Right.
so so basically this is what happened. It worked out for me, and that is the reason I never couldn't spend some time on free content, because the
Right.
people who paid for my services, I need to dedicate my time for them. That's the only reason.
Right.
Now, coming back to your next question, why do you want to do free content? Is, see, I want to build more trust. I want to reach out to more people.
Right.
I want to help more people out with at least the fundamentals, like at least let's say Python beginning or something like that. And I just want to give a flavor of what my content is for the people even before they pay. Building more trust. See, if you can build trust with just LinkedIn posts, why can't you build more trust with
Yes.
some free courses? If everyone are doing it, and why shouldn't you do it? That's the thought. Earlier I didn't had time, now I had time, so
Right.
I will happily do it. And will I advise it for every knowledge entrepreneur? Yes, preferably yes.
Right.
It's up, everyone is different. For Prithvi it is different, for every other it is different. If it works for you, like me, like you just start an Instagram post and you get paid people, and that's getting satisfied for you, fine, go ahead. But at some point of time, put something free
Right.
on your website to give a flavor of what it is. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So, listeners, I think this is very important. Whatever Prithvi is told. Um, Whatever, see, Prithvi is an outlier, right? I think we've all identified that by now. I mean, everybody is not going to simply start off on LinkedIn, put a post and get it. That's not happening. Not happening. That's a very rare thing. But that doesn't mean you have other ways to achieve what Prithvi has achieved, right? And for the majority of them, it's going to be this. If you want to teach something, if you are a knowledge entrepreneur, aspiring knowledge entrepreneur, I think one thing what I've commonly heard from a lot of people is that uh, you need to give out free content, because that's how people realize what you're doing. That is how they get to know, okay, this guy is teaching. And then, you know what, the content you have is may not be the main secret. The secret is your mentorship, how you deliver your content, how you communicate with your audience, and how you, I think that also has a high value as much as content has. So I think that is what I would like to take away from Prithvi's answer. And I think I would also like to add that, bottom line, if you're a knowledge entrepreneur who's starting off today, start off with free content. That has to be a staple. You can do all the other things in combination, but if Prithvi is starting it now, I think somebody
Yes.
who's starting today should definitely have this on their list. Okay, Prithvi, got it. Great.
Yeah.
So, coming back to your answer about, what your plans are, you said two things. One is consulting and one is education, right? And for
Right.
education, you're looking. Okay, listeners, if anybody is a data scientist out there, and after listening to Prithvi, you're looking forward to work with Prithvi. I think he's hiring about two data scientists. Reach out to Prithvi. At the end of the podcast, we will leave the details how you can reach out to Prithvi, his contact, and all those things. So do reach out to Prithvi. You've got an opportunity there, and he's also looking to do some consulting work. Prithvi, can you elaborate a little bit about what is this consulting work you're talking about, so that the listeners can get a clear idea, and if there is somebody who'd like to you know use your help, they might as well know clearly what you're going to do.
Yeah. So so basically, all the companies, enterprise, SMEs, even the startups, everyone are sitting on the data of the customers, B2B, B2C. Every business is now capturing data. Now, what is happening is every company is not capable of having their own data team. When I say data team, let's say engineering team, data engineering, or a business analytics team, or a data scientist team, modeling. So, three tasks: visualization and dashboarding, modeling, and engineering, moving the data from here and there, etc.
Right.
Not these are the three main tasks any data team can do, and not everyone is capable of hiring, nurturing, and generating value out of the data teams, because uh, you need a whole new vertical to develop this.
Right.
But you're sitting on data, but if you don't develop this vertical, you're missing out on the uh, value side, because today a lot of decisions are being made out of data itself. So yeah, our services aim is to help those businesses. You work in any domain: medical, pharma, or retail, fintech, or any domain. You're serving customers, you're serving businesses, doesn't mind. Are you storing data? And do you have a team of data scientists, data team, to generate value out of your data? If you don't have, and if you want to generate value out of your teams, of your data, we are there to help you. So that is the goal of the services segment. We are starting with retail as well as customer analytics space. That's where we are personally strong with. So D2C brands or FMCG brands or retailers or retail chains or anyone whose business is around this. And of course, fintech also. Slowly we want to get into fintech. So these are the three spaces in which any of the players are operating, and they're sitting on the data. They don't have data teams. We are there to help them to extract business value out of data. So
Data.
that's the goal of the services.
Got it, Prithvi. Thank you so much for elaborating on that. So, if they have to find out more information, you have a separate website for this, right?
Yes.
Avni.ai. Can you spell it out,
Yeah.
please?
Avani.ai.
Okay,
Avani.ai. Avani is the Sanskrit name for earth.
great.
For earth.
Okay,
So sustainability is something. So though I want to make value for businesses, it's
right,
always sustainability. So I took the name of the earth itself.
great.
So Avani.ai.
So
And
this
luckily
website
it
is
starts with AI. AI. It starts with A and ends with AI.
right.
So the same thing. Yeah.
And this website is up and running.
Uh, it's not yet up and running. Mostly we'll have it in a month or month and a half.
By the time we
But
publish
there's a
this
landing
podcast, I
page.
think
There's a landing page. If you want to put some details, you can just subscribe to our newsletter. Landing page is out. Yeah.
great. Okay, so Prithvi, final two segments I want to touch upon. One is,
Mm,
the last segment is a little personal and fun sort of a thing.
right. Right.
And the one before that is, one aspect that you spoke about here and there was you were completely doing this online. And you
Yeah.
said, you were using Teacher Listens platform at the start. And then, you had your own journey about the whole tech platform.
Yes.
Could you share with us, what your experience was like when it came to choosing tech platforms? What are the challenges you faced? How have you solved it? What are the challenges you might still be facing? What is the ideal platform? What are the key things that people should look for when choosing an online platform?
Okay. So I think this itself is a journey, because
Right,
I started with 2016. I was with Teacher Edison the day you started building platform.
right,
I mean, I was like just a consumer looking for some engineering college.
right,
But then, so uh, I've been on the platform. I've seen it grow. I see it in evolve in features. So one of the features I would say is on the delivery side, the platform should allow you to do all vehicles of delivery online, self-paced, blended, offline. Also, if you just need registrations, also. So that and one thing that's one thing. Second thing is support you in the marketing side of the content. Let's say blog, ability to create a blog, ability to create a landing page, good landing page, ability to create short courses. And when I say ability, not only just the courses and content side, uh, but the marketing side also, ability to mail them, completion of courses and all. That's second thing. Sales side, all capturing all the leads on the websites. If the CRM can do it, it would be great. And a reasonably basic CRM on the back end, so that people can use it. And I think, yeah, marketing, sales, content side, and of course live class integrations. That's well. So if and reasonably priced with a lot of tires, because the business scales up and scales down too often.
right,
uh, yeah, pretty much these many features, if they are looking for, it would be good. And I personally associated with startups a lot of times,
right,
someone who is building.
right.
I still remember bugging the teach edison team for, I want this feature, I want that feature and
No,
all.
it's not
And
bugging. I think people like you are the ones who built Teacher Listens. And I think all across, right, SaaS is
yeah,
being built because of the initial customers.
user relation customers. So I personally have to mention Shiva. I had direct access to Shiva. I know after a few, I don't know, but I had got personal access. So Shiva was good that he came onto our Slack channel. Shiva, I want you to come on our Slack channel. So we had a list of tasks. I used to ask this customization. I used to explain. It was wonderful interacting with the team, and every feature I asked was shipped. Every single feature I
Right,
asked was shipped to me. That was something really wonderful. And then we built one analytics, a student dashboard actually. In one of your question, it was there. So we use it to take data of how student was interacting with the website.
right,
Let's say sale on the course platform. In fact, how many time, at what time he joined the class, at what time he left it, and how much time he was viewing the website
right, right,
video. All this we downloaded and we built a tableau dashboard for ourselves. This was this what we were using for at least batch 8, batch 9. And then I
right,
had a demo with Shiva. Told Shiva this is what we need. And I think with the new platform they built that analytics as well.
right,
So yeah, I think these are some of the features which will be helpful. And for the beginners, don't go for the big plans, if possible free or affordable plans. As you scale the business, you scale it up,
Right.
and that's how it goes. Yeah.
Got it. And what is the platform you're using now? And how many platforms you've used in your journey, Prithvi?
Okay. The platform which I'm using is from Graphy.
Right.
I think it is acquired by an
An
academy, I
academy.
guess.
Right.
Yeah, an academy. And I this is the second platform. Our first platform is Teach Edison,
Right.
the platform. I was there with the old platform for almost 3 years, of 18 onwards. We had it,
Right.
so till 2021 end.
Right.
And the only reason I had to shift back to Graphy is uh, so Teacher Edison is moving from old platform to new platform.
Right. Right.
And yeah, on the pricing side, because I wanted to take a break. I don't know, I can't
Right. Right.
anticipate how much charges I can afford. So Graphy was rapidly acquiring customers. There was a reasonably very affordable offer.
Right.
So that is the reason I have moved in into Graphy.
Right.
Yeah. And I haven't used that platform heavily because I'm just running one or two batches every quarter or something.
So for
So
your
yeah,
live delivery of classes, also you're using Graphy,
yes, yes,
and
yes.
Graphy gives you all of the things that you spoke about.
Most
Okay.
70%,
Are
80%,
there any other
most of the
standalone tools that you're using, Prithvi, apart from Graphy?
nothing as such, nothing as
Nothing. So
such,
every your
nothing.
your whole business is running on Graphy at this point.
Whole business is running on the graph itself. But as I said, so we are not doing a lot of marketing or sales, or in fact inbound leads also I'm not capturing
Right.
on the platform. To be very honest, I am not using it extensively. So I'm
Okay.
just using it for the delivery of the leads which I was getting. I mean, this was the past. From
Right.
now we'll start using it aggressively. Hmm.
Got it. Are there any things that you need but are not available in Graphy at this point?
Live class scheduling, I miss that a lot. So for example, on Teach Edison platform, when a batch is starting, I can just do one form, and all the 40 or 50 classes will get scheduled at
Right.
one go, and with all the classes live used to be there. It's not there in Graphy. I don't think they'll build anytime soon. Every time I need a session, I have to go and
Create it
click it
instantly.
up, create it. So yeah, that's one feature I miss a lot.
Got it, Prithvi. And we are always there if at all you need. And we have
Yeah,
not only we are not in a transition state from old to new. We've completely transitioned, and the new platform
yeah.
is
I
up
think
and running.
I was talking. Yeah,
Yeah,
1.5 year it has been like. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We spend a lot of time on that.
yeah.
Uh,
True.
okay, Prithvi. Great. I think I'm pretty happy with all the questions that I wanted to ask you, and thank you so much for being so open and being a sport to answer all the questions that I've asked you. But now I'm just going to ask you some, informal questions.
Sure, sure.
Um, Something to, it's not only personal. It'll also, especially when you were talking about a time in 2020 when you paid money for this apartment or this flat,
Right,
whatever.
right.
Were you married at that point in time, or were you going to get married?
I no, not married. Just signed up. I got married in Jan 2021.
2021.
Uh,
Okay.
2021
Everything
Jan,
was
I
fixed
think.
at that point.
Not fixed, but at least not broken. I just had plasters around. So basically, the marriage got fixed only in the December 2020,
Oh,
and
okay.
we got married in Jan 2021. It was traditional arranged setup, arranged marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So during the COVID, with a very small crowd, that's how I got married. Yeah.
Okay. Here's my question, Prithvi.
Yeah.
You were an entrepreneur. How did
Right.
you convince? Because in India, the grooms, the husband materials, they expect them to be working, getting a salary. Even better, they would like the guy to be working in a government job and stuff. So how did you convince? Was it a long process? Were you stressed? Walk us through the entire process.
Okay, it was a very long process. Not with my wife. With my
Okay.
wife, it has been easy somehow. I'll
Okay.
tell you the reason as well. But the journey has been quite hectic because the kind of questions. I'll tell you one example. I took a screenshot
Hmm.
of the dashboard, Razorpay dashboard,
Right.
where it will show all my earnings,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and I sent it to a possible bride or sorry, girl or girl's father. I don't remember.
No salary slip, boss. I have Razorpay screenshot. Take it.
No, see, generally, think of the extent I have to go for
Yeah.
convincing
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who
Yeah. Yeah.
share space. See, even if they're salaried, no one shares space slips,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. Nobody shares. Yeah. Correct.
I
Correct. Correct.
had to share. Think of the connection we built, and they're not convinced, etc. It has been quite a struggle. It's quite painful
Right.
sometimes to answer the questions because no one looks at what it takes to start a business.
Right.
First question is it takes a lot of guts to leave your salary,
Right.
and people can't wait for 10 minutes if Swiggy delivers late,
Right.
right? But can you wait for 6 months without any salary? Is a question more to guts. Are you ready to take? Even my partner, even today, she says, uh, "You're very bold. You're very bold." Uh,
Right.
and yes, before the marriage, yes, I met a lot of possible brides who questioned. And the kind of business I'm doing is also see knowledge entrepreneur. How many people in India will understand knowledge entrepreneur? So so if I say, "Hey, I'm running a company." Okay, you're running company. What do? You build software? No, I teach. So if you're teaching, you'll become a teacher, right? Well, how will you become an entrepreneur? So I have to explain. Then who are your students? My students are working in corporate. They're working in corporate, and you teach, and you're an entrepreneur. Like, so this is
Right.
completely a new
Right.
world.
Right.
No one, the only good thing was the people know at least data science and AI, etc.
Right.
So I had questions like, if everything goes bad, will you be able to go back to job? Will your ego get hurt if I ask you to go to a job from a
Right.
possible bride,
Right.
possible girl who will marry? I had a person asking me to send the GST returns filed for 2 financial years
Wow. Wow.
to
Okay.
arrange it. Okay, and I had a person asking, okay, what is your last drawn salary when you're in industry? Then, okay, if everything goes wrong, you will get this pay, right? So I don't consider 80 lakhs turnover. I'll consider last time you draw 8 lakhs. So I'll consider 8 lakhs. So I've seen this a lot. At one point of time, I have to refrain from talking people who cannot understand my business. So
Right.
it was quite bumpy, right?
Right.
Especially on the mm, finding a partner side.
Got it.
Yeah,
So, Prithvi, two problems. One is, you know, being a knowledge entrepreneur, especially being one in the mid 20s or late 20s.
right,
Uh, if somebody wants to get married,
right,
I think people would have just understood what you went through. And I'm sure for the majority
yeah,
of them, it's going to be like this.
right,
And
yes,
second one, you struggled to get a loan for your house despite
yes,
doing so well for yourself. So
yes.
what would you tell the young ones that are listening to and who are doing something similar to what you're doing or who are aspiring to do something like you? What is your advice?
Okay, so entrepreneurship is like delayed gratification. You will have your own benefits. Okay, how many people will go to a chartered accountant and sign IT returns for a company? I sign it as a direct. I have a DIN. You have a PAN number. I have a DIN. I sign every year. So my statements, I give salaries to 5 people, 4 people. So I'm just listing out the benefits. Every Monday morning on this Wipro Circle Road, I'll see a lot of people with weary faces going to offices. I go to AMB Mall and watch a movie on Monday morning, 10 o'clock show. I wantedly booked that show just to go out and feel good about myself. So uh, the thing here is entrepreneurship comes with its own benefits,
Right.
and definitely it is delayed gratification.
Right.
If you want it, then do it. But if you are a person who will budge to peer pressure,
Right.
then don't do it. And second thing, uh, Jag, I went to bank manager. I
Right.
sat in front of him.
Right.
Sir, did you ever feel like doing a job, and did you ever feel like starting business? He was like, Prudhvi, I want to, but I'm stuck in this bank loan. Sir, I'm doing it. I'm providing jobs to people. You have a home which you can mortgage. If I don't pay the loan, please give me the loan. This is the statement I'm saying. I'm giving jobs to people. Look how many unemployed people are there. I came forward to provide jobs to them.
Right.
Please help me out how to put it. In fact, this manager wrote a recommendation letter to their AGM saying, it's my personal authorization, guarantee. I know this customer for quite some time. Please give him the loan. That's how I got the
That's how
loan.
you got it. Even despite not having two ITRs, not
Uh,
having
uh,
3 years of ITRs, you only had two.
Yes. So basically, entrepreneurship will come with its own benefits. You have to wait for it, and don't leave that path so easily. It may take 5 years, it may take 10 years. Look at any big company. Apple was about to get sold, but
Right.
Microsoft infused funds. Take any company, everything will go through this kind of it and all. So yeah, that's my advice for anyone who wants it entrepreneur to become an entrepreneur.
But
If
you're
you
saying
really,
there is no
yeah,
escaping the fact that you'll have to undergo these things while finding a
no.
bride. You'll have to undergo
Yeah. If your father has a lot of money, maybe not. Or if you're, or if you're really handsome, tall, 6 feet, well built like Bahubali, then you're not. or this one, or you have the knack for making the girl fall for you head over heels, then still no problem. So I didn't have any of these three. So
it. Got it.
so yeah, I had to struggle, and I had to mention this point. My wife's uncles, fathers come from a teaching background as well.
Right.
So I somehow felt uh, like, yeah, this teaching has provided me with this match and with the
Yeah,
partner
yeah, yeah.
also.
That is
So
also another thing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so luckily my father-in-law is a teacher himself, so he understands me. So yeah, you'll always have a partner who will support. Even today, my wife will tell me, if I go back and say, "Hey, this is getting too hectic. I want to go back to work," she says, in 2 years of marriage, she never asked me to go back to work,
Right,
like
right,
to a job.
right,
She's like, "Do what you like.
right,
Even if you don't get 6 months pay, that's fine. But do what you like. Don't go into the job again
right.
just because of me or peer pressure." So
That's
I'm
amazing.
really
Yeah,
lucky
yeah.
to have such understanding partner. Yeah,
Great, great, Prithvi. Thank you. This was one. I've got a set of questions, which
yeah,
might, I think, help our viewers, right?
right, yeah,
So, yeah. Okay, one question before we go. So,
yeah.
how's your competition like right now? Or are you even worried about competition, or you're just not worried and focusing on what you're doing?
Yeah, I think at one point of time I felt that you shouldn't be worried about competition.
Right,
But what I do is I see what they're doing good, and if it is working out, I try to adopt some of their steps.
right,
So, for example, we were giving delivery schedules, fixed schedule. So earlier it was like, okay, 5 months, but now we are doing delivery schedules like, okay, this week is break, this week is not break. everything fixed upfront and giving. So I take best practices from my competitors, and I'm not really worried about them. There are a lot of differences. One difference is even today, a lot of people are doing blended, but show it as 100% live. We're actually doing 100% live.
Right.
That is competitive advantage for me. And the kind of teaching, I have almost 5 years teaching experience in
Right.
data science itself.
Okay.
So yeah, where do you get a 5 years experience person teaching you every single class? So that's the advantage.
Great. Okay. Little lighter questions. A bit
Yes,
like a rapid fire, if you like.
sure, sure, sure.
What three books would you recommend to the audience and why?
Okay. I've been a great book reader. If you're showing video, I think you can see that.
Beautiful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
That's
wonderful
the
start right there.
corner, books corner. So I don't read fiction. Most of
Okay.
them are non-fiction. The
Okay.
books I would love is first thing, Deep Work, Focused Work by Cal Newport.
Okay.
Second thing I would say is Flow, Flow
Okay.
by Mihaly. I don't know how to pronounce the second one. Flow is the popular book. It's about how you can be happy about your work. How
It's
do you
FLOW, is it?
FLOW, flow.
Okay. Okay.
And the third thing I would say is The Last Lecture by Randy Posh. It was his book after he wrote it after he was diagnosed with a terminal cancer, saying how his career went, what are his learnings from his entire life. On his
Wow.
deathbed, he wrote that book. So I think
Okay.
these three books I would recommend to all my users.
Thank you. Okay, great. Next question. What are the three movies that you'd recommend, if at all there is any?
Okay, so not a movies person. I think I see. I take a lot of challenges in entrepreneur life, so I don't go for movies which are really challenging to watch. I just sit and just normal entertainment. I go for a lot
Entertain.
of comedy movies. Comedy
Got
movies,
it.
just plain comedy
So,
shows
what are the
and all.
last three recently watched films? Three of them that you enjoyed.
Okay.
You're a Telugu speaking person, so I think you
Yeah,
must have
Telugu
seen a lot of
speaking
Telugu
person.
films.
I enjoyed Avatar too. It
Okay.
was really awesome.
Okay.
Then I do watch a lot. And second thing is I would say Pushpa. Pushpa is
Oh yeah,
very.
I love that movie.
It's one and
One
a
of
half
the
year almost again.
yeah.
Uh, and one book I will talk about, one movie, I think it's a social dilemma, I guess. It's on Netflix documentary.
Okay.
Social dilemma. It's on how people spend a lot of time on social media and how is it
Right,
affecting
right,
their
right, right,
lives.
right, right, right. I've seen this. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so
I've
that's,
come across this, but I haven't seen it myself. Okay,
yeah, so these three movies I would recommend to the audience, if at all my favorite movies.
great. Uh, what are the three other podcasts? Do you listen to podcasts? If you do you have any on the top of your mind that you really like?
Okay, not a podcast person. The only one podcast I ever listened to was Kunal Shah. Not Kunal Shah. Who is this Cred founder? Kunal Shah, right? No. Uh, Beer Biceps interviewed this Cred founder.
Right, right, right.
Uh,
Great founder. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
think
don't know his
he's
name, but yeah.
Kunal, not Kunal. Okay, Cred founder and Beer Biceps interview. That was a podcast. I liked it. I
Okay,
watched it. That's it. Not a podcast person.
okay.
Don't know what podcasts are. I mean, I did a lot of podcasts, but what are the top and I don't. I'm on more of a text person.
Great
Go and
founder is
read.
indeed Kunal Shah. You're right.
Yeah, Kunal Shah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
So Kunal Shah's interview with this Beer Biceps guy, it was like really wonderful. Yeah.
Okay. What is one question you wish I could have asked, but I did not?
Uh,
Is there
so you
any, first
asked,
of all?
yes, was it worth the journey? Is
Please,
a question.
please,
Is a question I would have asked, and
please
yes,
answer
it
that.
was. it was definitely worth it. And as Steve Jobs says, all the dots only will get connected at the end. I've seen that happen.
Right.
uh, so at the start you don't know, at sometimes you feel a lot of despair, a lot of struggle,
Right.
especially the COVID hit the small entrepreneurs very hard.
Right.
But is it worth it? Definitely yes.
Right.
A very strong yes. I'm very happy with whatever I did. Hmm.
Great. And the last question, final question, is where can the listeners find you online or generally?
Okay. Okay. So the only platform I'm available is LinkedIn. And of course, I had a plan to start YouTube channel. I had one with few videos, of course, not very active.
Right.
Yeah, LinkedIn and YouTube, that's where you can find me. I'll give you the links. You can post
I
there.
will post it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, Prithvi.
Sure.
Great, Prithvi. First of all, let us consider this as, the first season. We will definitely have another one down the line. You will have new journeys. And
Yes.
especially for a person who likes to share, I don't think there's anything better than talking to people like you.
Yes.
It was amazing. I am like really, I think I'm pretty fortunate to do this podcast thing, first of all, because I get to talk to people who are doing something different out there. And
Right.
my experience conversing with you has been pretty amazing, right? It's a unique story. It is, it gives you so much of perspective, what it takes for somebody to follow their passion, the kind of problems that you've solved, the ups and downs that you've taken. And, all these things is like, as a listener, as a direct listener, it is amazing. I love this whole experience. I would totally love to have another episode sometime down the line when you're ready.
Yes.
And thank you once again for taking your time out. It's almost been what, 3.5 hours you've taken time.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart for this.
Thank you, Jag. I have to honestly confess one thing. Just
Yeah.
from after yesterday's podcast,
Right.
throughout the 12 hours I spent, I felt very good. One reason is it was about discovering me, what I've done again. So it was like uh, 20 shots of dopamine coming at once. So I felt very good remembering all the story. Thank you for uncovering. And I loved talking. And first of all, I love this idea of sharing knowledge entrepreneurs, because everyone should have access to this kind of content when they
Right.
are about to start the journey. When I started off, I didn't know. I started creating path for myself just like that.
Right.
And yeah, I think whatever you're doing is wonderful. You have been great host, good
Thank
listener.
you. Thank you,
Uh,
Prithvi. Thank you.
yes, and a great list of questions also to
Great.
uncover the journey. Yep, perfect.
Great. Thank you. I'm so glad that you felt that way. I'm going to take a moment and stop the recording.